Susan Collins. By the way, shout out to Susan Collins. That is pretty amazing. 10,000 votes in a row. Because I mean, there's lots of things. You could get a cold. You could miss a flight. You could have a crisis at home. You could have a family member that has a problem or something. And 10,000 in a row, that is something that, that is something that should be applauded, because yes, you do have that Congressman Keene in New Jersey, who is no one has seen in months. And then remember last year they had the woman in Texas that someone, because she was from this really quiet district in Texas, that sometime around, I think it was October or so, someone had noticed that she hadn't made a vote since July. And then finally, and then they couldn't get a hold of her staff for a month, and probably around November, right before Thanksgiving, they finally put out, they finally admitted, oh, yeah, she's been in like a memory care facility since June. And those press releases have been put out by her. Oh, yeah, that was just us putting stuff out. So she's going to retire at the end of the year. So, don't worry about it. But, yeah, that's what's been going on. It's like, okay, first of all, that district has had representation for like 7 months, which is ridiculous. But, yeah, congratulations to Susan Collins on that. But getting back to Graham Plattner, he is going to be a problem for the Democrats. And I don't know, what do we always talk about, Chad? Quality of candidates matters.
Yes.
This is an example of where the Democrats might not be picking their best option. If this is the best option they have in the entire state of Maine, they probably have larger problems to worry about, because this is not a good person to be picking.
No, it's not. And that's the understatement. I mean, take the tattoo away. The women who've said stuff, the sexting, all of this stuff has come to light. It doesn't look good for them.
Research, and that they've done a lot of Wmoh research on this guy. They're not going to turn this loose until after Labor Day. They're going to let him get the nomination and then just bury him in opposition research releases after that, because there's no reason. You want to run against him. Susan Collins wants to run against Graham Plattner. I'm fairly sure, even with Bernie and his contingent, AOC, all the money they can bring in. The Democrats already said they're going to run at least $30 million plus, which in California doesn't sound like a lot of money, but in Maine, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of TV ads, and you are going to be bombarded with the TV ads. And I'm going to be up there hopefully in a couple of months. I want to see if I can spend a day or two kind of looking into what's going on in Maine with Plattner and what the general feeling is up there, and the number of ads I'm seeing in television, because it should be right about when the election season starts in September. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, I don't think, this is the Republicans' dream candidate as far as I'm concerned. I don't think they could find anybody worse, because there's, the stories alone that have come out write their own endless trail of commercials and attack ads. And there's probably going to be more out there. And Susan Collins, while she's not the most conservative Republican, I'm pretty sure she's about as clean as a whistle. There is no hint of scandal ever been associated with Susan Collins as far as I know. Chad, correct me if I'm wrong.
Jim, you would be absolutely correct on that. Not a lot of scandal around Susan Collins. Always good talking to you, brother. Jim Kennedy right there. Reach out to him at midtermmonday.com. Check out all the midterm and the latest stuff going on with the midterms. You can also check them out at RightyJim.com. We'll talk to you again on Friday, brother.
Thanks, Chad.
All right, we're going to wrap it up straight ahead. But first, Pops Day, not too far away right now. Huge sale going on. Still time for you to get this to Dad before Father's Day. It is the Father's Day extravaganza, as I like to call it, the big sale going on. What does Dad want? He wants the best in meats, the best in burgers, the best in chicken, steaks, you name it. They've got it all at Omaha Steaks, well over 50% off and ready for you. So this is what I want you to do. Go to omahasteaks.com. That's omahasteaks.com right now. You can use my code Benson. You can save an extra $35 off. Give Dad something he truly wants. Not only is he going to get the best in butcher cut filet mignons, butcher cut top sirloins, he's going to get the best of you. Not only are you going to win Father's Day, but on top of all of that, you're going to be able to spend some time with Dad and enjoy some of this amazing, incredible meat, the best around, 100% unconditional money-back guarantee. Omaha Steaks has been around forever and a day, well over 100 years. America's butcher. They deliver time in and time out, just like Dad did for you. Go to omahasteaks.com now, omahasteaks.com. Use my code Benson. Save an extra $35 off at checkout. omahasteaks.com, code Benson. Term supply. See site for details. All right, coming up, we're going to wrap it up. You want to reach out to us across all of our social media. Love hearing from you. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show. It's your X, your Insta, YouTube, and everything else. We wrap it up straight ahead on this Monday. Chad Benson Show.
Listen as students and young adults interview well-respected CEOs on our national radio show, realworldleaders.org, to learn secrets for success and how to use them to propel their careers.
I'm the leader of a cosmetology group for my after-school program, and I teach young girls different skills on how to do hair and how to help other people. And it's not just about hair, it's just about confidence.
Fastima's ability to help develop other people, isn't that the critical thing? Is every business is.
If she can listen and she can take cosmetology and break it down into a listening skill, then she's on a great path.
Fastima, how does this make you feel?
I feel good. I can actually do stuff that's going to better me.
Jeffrey, would you hire somebody like Fastima?
Absolutely. I can tell that she's a good communicator, and the fact that she told the story about listening when it was supposed to be about cosmetology, she's into it because she cares about people.
To hear more and to help us introduce your high school, GED, work-ready, and college students to our CEOs, visit our website at realworldleaders.org. That's realworldleaders.org.
Do you have diabetes? I'm sure you've seen the television commercials on the new CGM devices from all the top brands and how well they can help you manage your diabetes. Do you have the latest and newest in diabetes technology? The Diabetes Solution Center carries most of the top brands, and the great news is your insurance may cover most of the cost. Call our special CGM hotline today, and our friendly representatives will help see if you qualify. You could get a new CGM from the top brands at little or no cost to you. Make living with diabetes easier. You are just one free phone call away to learn if your insurance covers the cost. So make this free call today to the Diabetes Solution Center and learn for free how to get your new continuous glucose monitor.
800-716-1261. 800-716-1261. 800-716-1261. That's 800-716-1261.
Hey, this is Chad Benson. We'll be right back on WMOH 1450 The Ticket.
It's the Dana Show.
Their pitch is never, well, we're going to reduce taxes and we're going to onshore more jobs. They never outline anything like that. It's always, you're being robbed, racism or sexism. That's all. That's their pitch every time. It's an old pitch. I'm tired of hearing it. That's like another Star Wars movie. My gosh, how many are there now? So tired of it all. I'm tired of that pitch. That's all they've been pitching people for this entire time.
The Dana Show.
Join me weekdays at noon on WMOH 1450 The Ticket.
Looking for a local community-oriented place to hang out, family-friendly, and a great place to bring your pet? Municipal Brew Works is open 7 days a week, and they have a huge patio area to soak up the sun and enjoy your favorite adult beverages. Join Municipal Brew Works for their big 10th anniversary party the weekend of June 12th through the 14th, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Drink specials galore, live music, and lots of food truck dining options. Municipal Brew Works in the former Hamilton City Building in downtown Hamilton. See you for the big 10th anniversary weekend.
We've expanded our family to better serve yours. Anthony Munoz here for my friend and automotive partner Ed Larkin. We've expanded our roster and added to our team. Rose Automotive in Hamilton and Larkin Cobb Chevy Buick GMC in Eaton welcome Larkin Greenwood Ford in Connersville, Indiana to our family. We've expanded our family to better serve yours. We've always wanted to be your everything automotive partner, and now we can offer Ford, Chevy Buick, GMC. Larkin Greenwood Ford in Connersville, Indiana. Larkin-Ford.com.
Be great if life came with a remote control. You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. But prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
High school tournament baseball. Installed by AE Door and Window.
Into the outfield for a base hit. Derek Ogden continues his hot hitting like a gazelle out there. Chandler Taylor covers a ton of ground, runs that one down. Got him looking. Caleb Dreesen, a complete Game 3 hitter, and the Baton Rams are heading back to Canton.
Thursday, Baton plays Padua Franciscan in the Division III state semifinals.
Swung on and missed.
Coverage begins Thursday at 3:35 on 1450 The Ticket and on WMOH.com.
From the WMOH Weather Center this afternoon, we'll bring us showers and a chance of thunderstorms and a high around 85. Showers likely tonight, chance of thunderstorms low 68. Showers and a chance of thunderstorms Tuesday with a high 82. Showers likely, chance of thunderstorms Tuesday night with a low 70. Hot and humid Wednesday, showers likely with a chance of thunderstorms. Your high 88 with a heat index of 102. And partly cloudy Wednesday night with a low 72.
This is Hugh Hewitt. Join me today at 3 on WMOH 1450, The Ticket.
Hashtag me too. Hashtag immigration reforms. Hashtag help. I'm trapped in a hashtag factory and I can't get out. The Chad Benson Show.
All eyes tonight on Madison Square Garden. First of all, Game 3 of the NBA Finals. The other reason, the president's going to be there.
The Secret Service, the NYPD, and our public safety partners have worked closely together to develop a multi-layered security plan. You will see Secret Service, police, and special agents, transportation security officers, federal air marshals, and the NYPD officers throughout the area.
That's right. So they're saying if you were to go to said game, if you were, and you had tickets, because you're rolling deep in the coin, show up early, like 2+ hours early. And if you thought to yourself, I just want to go to the watch party.
Because of that visit, and in coordination with the United States Secret Service, there will unfortunately be no watch party outside of Madison Square Garden for Game 3 of the Finals, and no access to the immediate vicinity of MSG without an authorized reason to be there.
I'm curious to see what the reception is like for Trump. It's New York. We know what New York can be like. Recognize that. Well, let's go back to that famous story. After 9/11, George Bush throwing out the first ball, for the World Series with the Yankees and the Diamondbacks. And Jeter told him, you better throw a strike. Right? Even though all the love was out there, even though we're all coming together, Jeter reminded him, dude, it's New York. Okay, so throw a strike or else. If you bounce it, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. And, of course, he threw a strike, and it was awesome. Just saying it's New York tonight. And if the Knicks happen to lose, they're up 2-0. Yeah. So we'll see. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your X, your Insta, your YouTube, and all of the other stuff out there. We'll be live tonight on YouTube right around 8 o'clock Eastern Time. If you have a chance, check it out. We'd love to see you over there right here on the Chad Benson Show. Another solid, fun show today. Kickoff to the week. Not bad. Still chaos and craziness going on in the Middle East. Not a shocker. Will that come to an end anytime soon? Who knows? Midterms still counting in California, which is a joke. And this is just the primary. And people recognize that. But come on. A bit of a joke. And most importantly, and this is the most important thing, the World Cup this week kicks off just a few days from now. Mexico gets us underway against South Africa. I'm pumped for that. You guys have an amazing and blessed rest of your Monday. We will do it again tomorrow. See you tonight on the old YouTube. As always, night-night, Jack.
This is
$14.50 The Ticket.
Don't get caught letting your furnace or air conditioner break down during temperature extremes. Your system needs to operate efficiently at all times. Butler County Mechanical Services is your dependable neighborhood heating and cooling company, offering reliable 24-hour service 7 days a week. And be sure to ask about their annual maintenance contract. That's Butler County Mechanical Services. Call them for your heating and air conditioning system tune-up or repair.
892-1444. 892-1444.
More than 200 members of Congress are standing up for AM radio listeners. The AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act will keep AM radio in cars, because when cell and internet services are down, this free service could be your only lifeline. Text AM to 39179. Tell Congress to pass this critical legislation now.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
This is your ticket to high school sports. WMOH, Hamilton, Fairfield, Westchester, Cincinnati. 1450 The Ticket.
At Town Hall, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. President Trump has announced that Iran has agreed to stop firing missiles at Israel. He writes on Truth Social that, quote, both sides, Israel and Iran, are looking to do an immediate ceasefire. A House Oversight Committee reports the administration of Minnesota Governor Tim Walz ignored the warning signs, even as billions of U.S. tax dollars vanished in fraud schemes.
A Republican-led congressional oversight report alleges that senior Minnesota officials, including Democrat Governor Tim Walz, failed for years to act on warnings about fraud in the state's social services programs, allowing hundreds of millions of dollars in confirmed or alleged losses and placing billions more at risk. The Walz administration had the power to stop fraudulent payments to high-risk entities receiving federal nutrition and Medicaid funds, but the state repeatedly failed to act after officials raised concerns, according to a 205-page final staff report released by the House Oversight Committee on Monday. Bernie Bennett in Washington.
Federal prosecutors say the centerpiece of the case is a nonprofit called Feeding Our Future. It allegedly oversaw a network of fake meal distribution sites and fraudulent reimbursement claims totaling hundreds of millions of dollars. Dozens of individuals have now been charged. The court records show a significant share of those defendants are Somali American. A detailed security plan in place as President Trump is scheduled to attend Game 3 of the NBA Finals tonight at Madison Square Garden in New York.
I think New Yorkers are used to presidents coming to town, and they understand that that generally means lockdowns of areas, and that's what you're going to see.
New York City Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch alerting the public that due to the president's visit, there will be no outdoor watch parties outside Madison Square Garden as a security precaution. But not to worry, the outdoor fun returns Wednesday night.
We are looking forward to bringing back watch parties for Game 4.
Laura Winters reporting.
More of these stories at townhall.com.
Spring is here, and if you're staring at a home improvement project, wondering how you're going to pay for it, or looking at a big credit card bill piling up, I want you to know about my friends Mike and Brian and the team at Fellowship Home Loans. For over 20 years, Mike and Brian have been helping families like yours tap into something they already have, equity in their own home. A HELOC, a cash-out refi, a debt consolidation loan to wipe out those high-interest credit cards. Whatever fits your situation, Fellowship Home Loans will build it around you. Everything's done in-house, one roof, one team, all with a servant-led mentality. From your very first phone call to closing, you're going to get people who know your name and treat you like family. I know. I'm a customer. Right now, they're offering a free mortgage checkup, no pressure, just a real look at your options. Go to fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, or call 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-6453. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, DBA Fellowship Home Loans, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 819382.
1450 WMOH News. I'm Steve Vaughn. Ohio BCI and the Butler County Prosecutor's Office continue their investigation of a deadly police-involved shooting Thursday night. 39-year-old Lorenzo Miller was shot by Westchester police while he held a knife to a 31-year-old woman, according to body camera footage. Miller had a long and violent criminal record. Gas prices continue to tumble in greater Cincinnati. Gas Buddy says regular unleaded is averaging $3.80 a gallon, down 31 cents from last week's average. Prices have dropped 84 cents over the past month. Hamilton City Council will hold a public hearing during Wednesday's meeting on a proposal which would allow cannabis dispensaries in some limited business districts. Kings High School wins the Division II State Softball Championship with a 12-4 win over Westerville Central. And Lakota West runner Sonia Taylor won the state title in the girls' 400-meter at the Ohio High School track meet. I'm Steve Vaughn.
Looking for a reason to try the $5 meal deal with new McValue? Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and the price makes 5.
So much.
Get more than you expect with the $5 meal deal with new McValue.
The Quarter Pounder with Cheese had many great things. Maple-flavored griddle cakes isn't one of them. McDonald's breakfast comes first. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Your local McDonald's on South Erie Highway in Hamilton, Nellis Road in Fairfield, Route 4 in McGee in Fairfield, and on Princeton Road next to Menards at Bridgewater. Bienvenidos, amigos. That's how you are welcomed at the area's #1 Latin American foods supermercado y restaurante. And you don't have to speak or understand Spanish to enjoy all that El Gran Valle Verde has to offer. All of your favorite Latin American grocery needs are in stock, and delivery is available too. And if you're not in a cooking mood for groceries, El Gran Valle Verde has a full-service restaurante restaurante with all of your favorites. El Gran Valle Verde, nearby in the Hamilton Plaza Shopping Center on Dixie Highway in Hamilton. Nos vemos pronto.
This is your ticket to high school football.
Going into the end zone. Touchdown. Jordan Kreider finds himself wide open.
Basketball.
Inside to Bryce Curry, and Bryce Curry with a two-hand jam. He saw the mismatch, and he made the call.
And baseball.
He is going to try for the inside the park home run. Here comes the throw, the slide, and he is safe. Inside the Parker, Chase Rush.
WMOH.
It's game time, boys.
Let's get it on.
1450 The Ticket.
From the WMOH Weather Center, showers likely this afternoon with a chance of thunderstorms, high 85. Showers likely with a chance of thunderstorms tonight, low 68. Showers on Tuesday with a chance of thunderstorms, high 82. Showers likely, chance of thunderstorms Tuesday night with a low 70. Showers likely, chance of thunderstorms, hot and humid Wednesday with a high of 88. A heat index of 102. Partly cloudy Wednesday night with a low near 72.
WMOH 1450 The Ticket.
This is a Democrat infighting, and they're going to use these women. Now, everybody else has piled in. So many people on the left are now attacking these women. What happened to Believe All Women? What is taking them so long? They got rid of all of the safeguards that they would need in order to validate or affirm the integrity of a cast ballot. That doesn't make any sense.
The Dana Show with Dana Lash. Than ever presented.
Let's talk
your
about
elections in this country. We're like a third world country. Your elections are crooked, and you're crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked, and so is ABC and CBS and CNN.
But Mr. President,
you're one-sided crooked networks. Right? Let's call it quits because I've had enough. Thank you, darling. Have a good time.
Mr. President, let's please. I traveled all the way to Wisconsin.
I've sat in the rain with you.
I know. I traveled all the way to
for an hour,
Wisconsin.
on and off in the rain, and I've given you enough time. You ought to straighten out your press because you know what?
Mr.
A country can never be great with a dishonest
Listen,
press.
we
Come on,
traveled
let's go.
all the way to Wisconsin for this interview.
Oh, and you traveled all the way to... Was it an interview? Because it seemed like... You know, when you say the word interview, what is that? I mean, that's you're asking questions in search of answers. And when I was listening to the questioning that she was putting forth, it sounded less like questions in search of answers for the voting public and more like I'm going to present to you a list of biases and you're going to have to either affirm or just that's all you're going to do. And if you don't affirm my bias, then I'm just going to go. I mean, that's just what it seemed like. It didn't seem like an interview. And this is what I can't stand. I cannot stand how most of the legacy press does this stuff because did you as a viewer, if you watched any part of that interview, which I don't think that my audience did, but just bear with me for a moment. If you watched any part of that interview, did you walk away feeling as though you were more informed because of that? Did you feel like you were more informed? Did you feel like, I don't know, like you got answers to the questions that have been circulating? Did you get any of that? Because I didn't. I mean, I was watching it and I'm like, well, none of this is making sense here. Because it was her presenting bias and then really going at POTUS over it. But that's not journalism. That's activism. And so much of what the legacy press does is activism. Do you think that Graham Plattner would have received even I don't know, any amount of what do I want to say? Pushback or it's what I'm looking for. Just an aggrievedness. I don't know how to put it. Backlash or something. Do you think that he would have gotten any part of that as much as that at all? I don't think so. That's the thing. It's so goofy. This is so goofy. So that was his interview with Kristen Velker. And Kristen Velker, by the way, was getting a lot of pushback for this. I mean, at least from the right, I guess, so to speak, the conservative part, the people who understand how journalism works. But she's with NBC News, and she, at one point during that interview, because Trump was calling out the insanity of whatever the hell is happening in California with the voting, and we're going to talk about that coming up, but she was like defending it at one point. I mean, it's Los Angeles, and they're taking a month to count the votes for mayor. Los Angeles, they're taking a month to count votes for mayor. Over a month. They're just going to count votes until they have enough for their Democrat to win. Now, I don't know why Trump decided to sit down with Velker. Why? Who suggested that to him, and who thought that that was a good idea? Not because I don't think that he came off badly in this. I think he held his ground. I think that the people who don't like Trump are going to find everything that they don't like in that interview, right? That's just sort of how it is. The people who don't like Trump, they're going to feel affirmed by this interview. The people who like Trump are going to be like, that's exactly how we would have done it. That's it. That's exactly how we would have hoped that he would have handled that. And so it's just weird. So he walks out of that interview. I mean, this is cut two, for instance. Listen to this. This is like where she was defending it part of the time. Watch.
It was a dirty election.
Mr.
And it's
President,
happening again right now in
never
California.
Presented evidence
It's happening
that the
right now in California.
Rigged.
Right now, look at what's
Where's
happening in
the evidence
California.
to that?
It's
The
4
Republicans
days.
are doing well in
California. No, they're not. They're dropping fast because it's a rigged election. Let me tell you, it's 4 days. And they aren't even close to coming up with it. You know why they're doing that? Because they're cheating on the election.
Do you have evidence?
She sounds like an activist. She sounds like because she is. By the way, who at NBC decided that it was going to be a good idea for them to do an interview outside in a thunderstorm? What D-bag audio engineer decided that was going to be good? What set director or stage director thought that was going to be good to do? Who the hell is running the broadcast over at NBC? There is no way in hell any respectable broadcast would say, yes, we're going to sit outside in the rain and do this interview. Because then the sound is an agitation. It's an agitator. I think that was kind of the whole point, Kane. Don't you think so? Absolutely it was. That was stupid. I would have immediately, first off, I would have said, no, it's NBC. Hell no, we're not going to do this interview because you guys are garbage. And, we're just going to buy it. You don't need to do that stuff. They don't need to do NBC. They don't need to do any of that. I mean, we're going to get into a lot of stuff today. So we're going to talk about, let me just get you set up. We're going to get into the Iran stuff because there's several ways to look at this. In addition to everything that happened over the weekend, you had POTUS. There's this back and forth between POTUS and, did he tell Netanyahu that Netanyahu needs to withhold any kind of response to Iran? Because as you know, here's how it started. Hezbollah in southern Iran decided they were going to start firing rockets off, right? They were going to start firing rockets off at Iran. And at Israel. When Israel responds to Hezbollah in southern Lebanon, then Iran, if that tells you anything, absolutely, you can completely clearly see that Hezbollah is just an extension of Iran, always has been. And when Israel responds to Hezbollah, after Hezbollah is firing rockets, then Iran responds and starts firing rockets at Israel. So how is there any kind of... There's no ceasefire in place. They violated the ceasefire. There is no ceasefire now. That's it. And then POTUS reportedly tells the Israeli government and Netanyahu, well, withhold. Don't respond. We're going to talk about that because there's a couple of different ways to look at this. Is this an op to make it look as though there is disconnect there, which serves a bigger purpose? Or is there really this issue of Netanyahu and Trump completely at odds over this? Both are possibilities. We're going to discuss both of those. I just want to get you set up with some of the other stuff that we have. Both of those are a possibility. I also want to get into some of this. We got some election stuff to look at. Woke Reich. We had a fun time over the weekend, let me tell you that. So we're going to dive into all of that. But as far as it pertains to the situation with Iran, so POTUS says Israel has no choice but to accept any deal that Iran deal, rather, that POTUS makes. And he says that he's calling the shots on this. And that's one of the things that this, of course, comes out over the weekend, all explodes because Iran decided that they were going to violate a ceasefire and they were going to start lobbing rockets over towards Israel again. So this, the way that the media put it, and this kind of came up in this interview with Velker as well, is that Trump somehow is this big giant warmonger and that he's just, this is cut for. He was talking about there is no guarantee of no war ever for any administration, really. Watch this.
So you're saying you didn't break your promise, and yet, Mr. President, in your first term, you held to that promise, and it was so fundamental to who you were as a candidate to a first-term president. What changed? Because you insisted no new wars.
First of all, I didn't guarantee no war. Why would I have built the strongest military in the world? I built our military. I inherited a terrible military. We had no equipment. We had nothing. I built a tremendous military. Biden gave a lot of it away, but it's still a relatively small portion compared to what I built.
But you said it over and over again, Mr.
Why would I
President?
build a military? Now, I didn't want to use this, but I'm doing you and everybody else a big favor.
It's true. Where's he wrong? Where's the lie? Boy, she was so mad. She was so mad during that interview. And Iran came up, of course. He's saying that he said that he spoke to Netanyahu, his longtime ally and friend, has no say in the matter. He says what he told Financial Times is, quote, I call the shots. I call all the shots. Netanyahu doesn't call the shots, is what he said. And this, again, it was because one entity entirely violated the ceasefire. And Trump also told Trey Yanks, he talked to him over the weekend, that talking about the missile attacks, he says the quote that he had, this takes place right as they're getting ready to have this agreement, this deal. And so you can't tell another country to not defend itself. And I know he thinks that could rock or violate or maybe perhaps undermine any agreement with Iran. But I don't really give a rat's ass about agreeing to anything with Iran if they're going to violate every ceasefire still. They were firing over at our interests in Saudi Arabia over the weekend. Iran did. Nobody in the media seems to obsess over that. Nobody in Podcastistan talking about that. Notice how they're entirely silent because they don't care about our troops. They don't care about any of that. All of these people, they don't care about any of that. It's all optics for them. We're going to get into the woke Reich, and I hope that you saw my speech over the weekend. We can play some of it actually coming up, but I've had it. I've absolutely had it. Went to the amazing Turning Point women's event that took place over the weekend, and the woke Reich hollered like the absolute demons from hell that they are. And I'm just going to get louder and louder about all of this, and you guys are going to take it. Woke Reich is going to shut up, and they're going to take it. So as we move, our partners that bring you the program, it's our friends over at Superbeats with Cholesterol Health Daily. The same company that does Superbeats also makes a product to help you with any cholesterol issues. It can be confusing for people, but cholesterol is super important. It's important that you also know that, because you can't, it's not the enemy, right? It plays a very important role in cellular health, in hormone production, even when it comes to vitamin D creation. And the goal is about supporting the right balance, especially that healthy HDL cholesterol. And so Cholesterol Health Daily uses plant-based ingredients backed by clinical studies. So you get a smarter, more targeted way to help support your cholesterol. They use clinically studied ingredients that work. Aged black garlic extract, that helps to improve the HDL, the good cholesterol levels. So think about it this way, HDL, good cholesterol, just think of H for healthy, right? So that helps those good, the HDL levels. In fact, it helps to increase it by 11.5% without any garlic taste. It also includes a patented Italian citrus bergamot extract. That is all about maintaining healthy triglycerides and overall lipid metabolism. These are noticeable results from a science-backed company. This is a great company founded in Texas. Everything operates out of Texas. They use the best ingredients, and their stuff works. Right now, for a limited time, you can save $5 on the Cholesterol Health Daily product from the makers of Super Beets at Sam's Club. Head to your local Sam's Club. Do more to support your cholesterol health with the Science First brand that I trust. Won't last long. What's worse than summer heat? Trying to sleep on a mattress that turns into a sauna every single night. So if you're waking up sweaty and kicking the covers off and flipping your pillow over for the cool side, it's your mattress trapping the heat. So that's why I love GhostBed, because I notice the difference almost immediately. It's just better temperature regulation, less tension. You don't wake up feeling stiff and sore. And the cooling technology is built into every mattress. It's not some ridiculous upcharge. Some of GhostBed's happiest customers are hot sleepers. I mean, just check out the reviews. Life is too short to spend another summer sleeping badly. GhostBed gives you 101 nights to try it at home. And if you don't like it, they offer free returns. So that means you can sleep on it all summer long and decide for yourself. And if you don't feel the difference, you just send it back. GhostBed is offering my audience an extra 10% off. So visit ghostbed.com/Dana and use promo code Dana. Life is too short to spend another summer sleeping badly. So visit ghostbed.com/Dana. That's ghostbed.com/Dana, promo code Dana for 10% off.
Hi, it's Hugh Hewitt on the next Hugh Hewitt Show. Brad Thorne's got his brand new thriller out. I'll be talking with him, Admiral Mark Montgomery, on whether or not we can get Project Freedom going again. And all the news of the weekend. And there will be a lot of news, especially out of Maine as Graham Plattner struggles to make it a Tuesday. Primary day in Maine. I'll cover all that and more on the next Hugh Hewitt Show.
He keeps his finger on the pulse in D.C. Hugh Hewitt.
Join me today at 3 on WMOH 1450 The Ticket. Keep that dial to the right.
Start saving this summer at AE Door and Window. All through June, save up to 15% off Provia entry doors and sliders, as well as select Clopay garage doors. Save up to 20% off windows by Pella and Provia. Combine and save for another 5% off your total order, and get up to $100 off a next generation LiftMaster opener. All with zero down, zero interest for 2 years. Learn more at aeDoorsales.com.
We sell the best and service the rest. AE.
Back to pass pressure in the backfield. He's brought down again. Another sack.
Local business owners, get in on the football excitement and let your message be heard. Join the growing number of businesses supporting high school sports on 1450 The Ticket at very affordable rates. Simply contact the WMOH 1450 The Ticket sales office at 513-863-1111. You are listening, and so are many of your future customers. Let area football fans know that you support high school sports on 1450 The Ticket, and they'll support you.
This is Dana Lash. We'll be right back on WMOH 1450 The Ticket.
My fiance is a veteran. He was a combat medic in the Army.
I did tours in Korea, Germany, and Bosnia before I got injured.
There's been a lot of wear and tear on his body.
My knees are bone on bone from doing all those jumps and lugging my backpack and all that gear around. I was also exposed to toxins.
When Yusuf got out of the military, he needed help getting his disability benefits.
Luckily, DAV came to the rescue. They fought for me the same way that I fought for my country.
Every year, DAV provides life-changing support to more than 1 million veterans like Yusuf, helping them get the benefits they've earned so they can achieve victories, great and small.
Now Yusuf is paying it forward. DAV has been instrumental in helping him start 2 healthcare technology companies that are working to help veterans everywhere.
My victory is never giving up and finding more ways to serve.
He's pretty amazing.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Did you know that driving under the influence of marijuana is illegal? Driving high will get you a DUI. And if you're wondering if law enforcement can tell you're driving high, well, everyone else can. Friends?
I can tell you drove high.
Parents?
I can tell when you drive high.
Relatives?
I can tell. You drove here high, didn't you?
So what makes you think law enforcement can't?
I can tell.
If you feel different, you drive different. Drive high, get a DUI. Paid for by NHTSA.
High School Tournament Baseball, installed by AE Door and Window.
Into the outfield for a base hit. Derek Ogden continues his hot hitting like a gazelle out there. Chandler Taylor covers a ton of ground, runs that one down. Got him looking. Caleb Treason, a complete Game 3 hitter, and the Baton Rams are heading back to Canton.
Thursday, Baton plays Padua Franciscan in the Division III state semifinals.
Swung on and missed.
Coverage begins Thursday at 3:35 on 1450 The Ticket and on WMOH.com.
From the WMOH Weather Center, this afternoon will bring us showers and a chance of thunderstorms and a high around 85. Showers likely tonight, chance of thunderstorms low 68. Showers and a chance of thunderstorms Tuesday with a high 82. Showers likely, chance of thunderstorms Tuesday night with a low 70. Hot and humid Wednesday, showers likely with a chance of thunderstorms. Your high 88 with a heat index of 102. And partly cloudy Wednesday night with a low 72.
Now, back to Dana Lash on WMOH 1450 The Ticket.
And now, all of the news you would probably miss. It's time for Dana's Quick Five.
All right, so first up, the Knicks announced enhanced security measures for Game 3 because POTUS is set to attend. He's set to attend the game, apparently. So I was telling we had a crazy travel stuff over the weekend, and going into San Antonio, there were apparently every billionaire going to the game. Everybody was bringing their jets. So I can't even. They had announced this yesterday. It's Madison Square Garden. So they said that they got Secret Service there. They want to ensure a safe and enjoyable experience. No bags. I thought that was a gimme, like a no bag policy. They also said that there's going to be enhanced security when entering Madison Square Garden. TSA style screening procedures. Okay, is anybody going to go? Because tickets are like $8,000, and I'm not even exaggerating. Isn't that the price of the tickets, Steve? Aren't they going for like thousands? Like even the cheap seats. That's insane. There was one player that was kind of blasting the prices for that as well. So panic rooms and bunkers fear an unusual property trend. This isn't. I mean, I've seen a lot of this before. They said it's fueling a trend because people are paying lots of money to install bunkers and things like that in their property, or they want them already installed. This is a very interesting real estate. I get it. Let's see, I got a couple of others. I really wanted to show the video of this, but we may not have time of this. Let me pull this in here because I just saw this this morning. So they had this martial arts demonstration in China with robots. And one of the boys that was in the ring of people watching this little robot going around ended up getting just absolutely blitzed in the head. The robot roundhouse kicked him in the head. Imagine like the iRobot stuff, right? Roundhouse kick right in the head. I'm surprised. I mean, that's like metal, heavy metal. And imagine just getting hit in the head with a giant chunk of metal. That's how, apparently he was okay, but still. New York City Councilwoman and congressional candidate Julie Wmoh apparently squatted in her luxury Queens condo, according to the landlord. Oh, I'm so surprised. A Marxist wanting to steal property and live like a welfare queen. She owes over $25,000 in back rent, and she has squatted in this, this nice apartment for apparently, how many months?
Any length of time's illegal.
So it's the Skyline Towers on Long Island City's waterfront. So I asked a friend of mine who was like, oh, that's like a super bougie area. I don't know the area, but my friend who is a New Yorker, born and raised, says it's a very bougie area. It's a 67-story skyscraper. It has a fitness center, swimming pool, sauna, spa, yoga room, all other A-list amenities. But she said that they never signed any lease, and apparently she said that her name was forged onto a bogus lease agreement. The landlord's like, are you crazy? So I believe the landlord, not her. I'm just going to say it. I don't believe her at all because A, she's a Democrat, B, she's a New York Democrat, and C, they all lie. So we have a lot. And 50 years ago, Americans declared that we were meant to live free, to work, move, and live on our own terms. But if pain is holding you back, are you really living free? I've seen this firsthand with my husband. Years of sports left him dealing with old injuries, and Relief Factor made a real difference. Within weeks, he felt better mobility and could stay active without next-day regret. Everyday aches and inflammation can take your freedom away. With Relief Factor, you can get it back. Relief Factor is 100% drug-free and designed to fight inflammation, the root cause of most pain. It works from the inside out to help you you move, work, and live without constant discomfort. This year marks 250 years of American independence. Take your own stand for freedom from pain. Check out Relief Factor today. To commemorate America's 250th anniversary, Relief Factor is offering a special patriotic price on their 3-week quick start, now just $17.76. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. That's ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF to get your 3-week quick start for just $17.76.
1450 WMOH News. I'm Steve Vaughn. The investigation continues into the death of a man found on the 400 block of South 12th Street in Hamilton Friday. Police say the victim had traumatic injuries. The man shot to death by police at a Westchester apartment Friday had a long and violent criminal history that included murder. 39-year-old Lorenzo Miller was holding a knife to a woman's neck when he was shot. 4 officers are on paid leave during the investigation. A propane leak forced the evacuation of some homes in the Cedar Grove neighborhood south of 7 Mile. St. Clair Township firefighters quickly capped the leak from a faulty valve on the 3100 block of Fear Not Mills Road. You're paying less at the pump. Gas Buddy says regular unleaded is averaging $3.80 a gallon. In Greater Cincinnati, down 31 cents from last week. A paragliding accident in southeast Indiana last week has turned fatal. The victim, 38-year-old Eric Holm of Norwood, died Friday. I'm Steve Vaughn.
This report is sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving. For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call the 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
High school tournament baseball. Installed by AE Door and Window.
Into the outfield for a base hit. Derek Ogden continues his hot hitting like a gazelle out there. Chandler Taylor covers a ton of ground, runs that one down. Got him looking. Caleb Treason, a complete game 3 hitter, and the Baton Rams are heading back to Canton.
Thursday, Baton plays Padua Franciscan in the Division III state semifinals.
Swung on and missed.
Coverage begins Thursday at 3:35 on 1450 The Ticket and on WMOH.com.
Hey, Butler County, Cincinnati State is your community college. With affordable tuition, you can save 40 to 50% on the first 2 years of a 4-year degree or earn an associate's degree with little or no student debt. Small class sizes mean you get the attention you deserve, and you'll find all kinds of support for your success. For a quality education, hands-on or online, it all starts at cincinnatistate.edu/Middletown.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
This Odyssey Sports Minute is sponsored by Wrangler. Shop Wrangler.com for new denim styles to kickstart day. The New York Knicks, 2 wins away from an NBA championship, 13 straight postseason wins. 8 straight playoff wins on the road. This run has been absolutely unbelievable. And if the Knicks pull it off and win a championship, you need to tell the truth and call them an all-time team. I'm Nick Costas.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds on my home insurance. Really smart. Unfortunately, I didn't check to see which type of soap I put into the dishwasher. Not so good. Well, looks like the kids are enjoying their new indoor slip and slide.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Not available in every state. Potential savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois. The Asian longhorn beetle is eating holes in our trees. Perfectly round holes in trees across our region. The Asian longhorn beetle is destroying our trees, literally eating them right where they stand. Look for holes in your trees. By keeping an eye out, we can put an end to the Asian longhorn beetle and help keep our trees safe. Report the Asian longhorn beetle. Go online at AsianLonghornedBeetle.com. When it comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
Heather and I had an argument just like any other couple. I was lost. I had snapped. I had a gun and I was going to take my own life. Heather helped me realize that there was still a life to live. for the better of myself, my family. My weapon is now safely put away.
A moment of crisis can happen to anyone. Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
From the WMOH Weather Center, showers likely this afternoon with a chance of thunderstorms, high 85. Showers likely with a chance of thunderstorms tonight, low 68. Showers on Tuesday with a chance of thunderstorms, high 82. Showers likely, chance of thunderstorms Tuesday night with a low 70. Showers likely, chance of thunderstorms, hot and humid Wednesday with a high of 88. A heat index of 102. Partly cloudy Wednesday night with a low near 72.
This is Hugh Hewitt. Join me today at 3 on WMOH 1450 The Ticket.
Can run on for a long time. Keep your finger on the pulse with the Dana Show podcast, delivering timely news with insightful analysis whenever you want, straight to you on YouTube, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to the program. Dana Lash with you. We're at the bottom of this first hour. Happy Monday. Had a very busy weekend. Was in San Antonio for the Turning Point USA, the Young Women's Leadership Summit. Got to speak with a lot of very awesome young ladies there, and it was a very edifying event and a very good weekend. Although it was quite unfortunate to see that Erica Kirk, when she spoke, was heckled. And ended up being heckled. Antifa was there. They busted into the lobby. I think it was Saturday morning. All hell broke loose. They fought with cops. People were arrested. And the evening before, when Erica Kirk was speaking, one of the insane, some like nut job who apparently purchased a ticket to go, decided to heckle her with Gal Sharpton conspiracy theories that are promoted by the mommy sleuzes of Podcastistan. It's another little demographic. It was insane. I spoke, and here is a clip of those remarks. Watch. Allow me to step out very boldly right now. Exodus 22:22. You shall not afflict any widow or fatherless child. If you afflict them in any way, and they cry out at all to me, I will surely hear their cry, and my wrath will be hot. Deuteronomy 27:18, cursed is the one who perverts the justice due, the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow. Isaiah 1:17, learn to do good, seek justice, rebuke the oppression, defend the fatherless, plead for the widow. Jeremiah 22:3, do no wrong and do no violence to a stranger, the fatherless, or the widow. Malachi chapter 3, verse 5, I will come to you. I will come near you for judgment. I will be a swift witness against sorcerers and against those who exploit the wage earners and oppress the widow and the fatherless. 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 3, honor widows. James chapter 1, verse 27, pure and undefiled religion before God and the Father is this, to visit orphans and widows in their trouble. Our Lord God defines himself as a, quote, father to the fatherless and a defender of widows. God has ordered his church to care for widows, that widows be included so they are not isolated, to protect widows, to care for widows, to not persecute a widow in the most ungodly of ways because you're jealous that you are not the one controlling an organization that widow's husband built. And it's true. I meant every syllable, and I'll say it again, and I'll get louder. And look, I'm going to tell you, it is, I get righteously outraged when I see good people being treated poorly. And I feel like, I watch this stuff happen, and I watch all these people go after Erica Kirk. I've only met Erica Kirk like once, very briefly, backstage with Charlie. And this was it was at last year's event, which happened months before he was murdered. And it was at the event that was in Dallas. And she was very lovely, very nice. And she was always, the support for Charlie. I don't think that Ed ever was planned, at least, without knowing what was going to happen. I think, they have a plan B in place, but you never think that you're going to enact plan B, right? And Charlie had made it very clear that Erica was the one, and why would she not be? She's a strong Christian in her own right. She worked in retail. I mean, for crying out loud, she's a pageant girl. So and I don't say that to be mean. I'm saying she's very put together and she just knows how to handle herself. But she was there, she was supporting her husband, and then, he's murdered, and she has to step in, and that's how he wanted it. This is cut 10, part of that video. We'll just play this excerpt. Listen.
I appoint my wife to run Turning Point USA if something happens to me. Erica would do a great job.
And everyone's like, oh, the people who hate it are like, that's AI. What gets me is you have a bunch of people who have never met Charlie. They've never met Erica. They don't know any of these people. They've never met Candace. And I feel like there are a bunch of pick-me mommy sleuzes who got tired of their true crime, and they're trying to fulfill the emptiness of their lives by replacing a husband's love, by obsessing over a widow. And if my words are harsh, I can make them harsher, because some of you broads need a wake-up call. I'm tired of this stuff. I'm tired of seeing, she was very, very obviously upset, but she held it together on stage. She wasn't there for the whole weekend. She was scheduled to be there for the whole weekend, but who would want to endure that? Being targeted. She was targeted by Antifa, who I could not distinguish from the woke Reich at all. They are the same, because they're all left. It's just they pretend that they're on the right because they think that's how they can make money off of, these gullible idiots out there who give them all these clicks. It's insane. They had a protester that was, I don't want to show this, but he put on this homemade head that was supposed to resemble Charlie Kirk and pretended to get shot over and over again right in front of the hotel. This is insane. I made mention to one person, the reason why they're targeting TPUSA so badly, and think about the optics of this. You had a bunch of woke Rikers that went to Moscow last week, and they've been singing the praises of Putin and the Kremlin and the state. They've been trying to act like Russia's, which I'm going to talk more about this in a minute, their Orthodox Church. Their Orthodox Church exists to advance government, not Jesus. That's number one. And if you don't know that, you don't know what you're talking about. The second thing is that the reason they target TPUSA is because TPUSA is the largest pro-liberty, pro-God, pro-West youth organization in the world, especially the United States, obviously. And when you think about all of the past revolutions around the world, different areas throughout history, they've all started as youth movements. Nazism began as a youth movement. The communist takeover in China, color revolution, Mao, the Cultural Revolution, Maoism, all of that began with the youth. When you look at the 60s and going into the early 70s with the demonstrations at college campuses, whether underground, that began as a youth movement. So if you were a communist and you wanted to destabilize your geopolitical foe without firing a shot, I mean, this is exactly what I would do. I would take over your youth movement. I would try to hijack it. That's why they're targeting this so badly. And that's why they're targeting Erica. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but if I was going to guess as to who Tyler Robinson acted for, definitely the signs do not indicate for Israel. I mean, the woke Reich looks guiltier than anybody. And I think they know it. People are afraid to talk about it because they get ratioed by the bots on Instagram and on Facebook and on X. You can see it in my social media comments. I went and ran down. We were looking at half of these accounts that are doing it are brand new accounts. They don't follow anybody and they don't post. And then you have some people who are brain dead who fall in with it. And I really think that there are people who are so lonely and desperate to be included that they join the pile-on so they can feel like they're part of something. And I'm trying really hard to be upright in how I talk about this, but the rage that I feel for these people is just about uncontainable. And then they have the audacity to say Christ is king, holding up rosaries on stage while they're silent about what happened to their so-called friend's widow. Of course, doesn't surprise me when you have your security clearance jerked by the Trump administration, by the way. I want to point that out. So people are afraid to talk about it. It would be super easy for me to make more money by buying into the outrage because that sells. The algorithms reward cruelty. They reward loud cruelty. They reward brainless reactions. And they're training people like monkeys to do this. They're training them to react this way. So you see stuff that's posted up there about Erica, and then I see people who call themselves Christians who clearly are betraying Christ and crucifying him again by their behavior, by acting absolutely demonic. And they try to shirk accountability for this. Now, here's the other part of it. The other part of it is this. It's not just targeting a pro-Western, pro-Christian, pro-liberty, pro-America organization trying to destabilize it so you can take it over and start infecting other minds in the United States, particularly the youth. They're doing this to the churches. All these people blow so much smoke up the backside of the Kremlin after they go over there. I've never seen so many people eager to be loved in my life. You don't look like an influencer. You don't look like somebody who has influence. You don't look like somebody who has any power. You look like someone who's too stupid to know that they're getting so played. It's embarrassing. And the fawning all over the Russian Orthodox Church. That church exists to advocate for the state. It is not a church that advocates for Christ. It is a church that exists to co-opt God and push tyranny. What is the thing that scares tyrants? God's supremacy. Because if people have God, they cannot be controlled and subjugated by tyrants on earth. That's why they all hate Christianity. They hate it so bad. Tyrants hate Christianity so badly because of that. So what is a way to do an end run around that? Well, you decide to fashion your own church, and you decide to change the rules, and then try to act as though this is the only way. This is the only pure faith. This is the only way, the Russian Orthodox Church. That's it. They exist to promote the state, not Christ. And if you have any doubt about that, go and look how they treat Protestants. Go and look how they crack down on Christians that go outside of the state-approved church in Russia. All of these people, I am so embarrassed at their lack of knowledge on this, their absolute lack of historical understanding. Normally, humans possess this ability to sort of check themselves. They, it's called cringe today, but normally they would feel embarrassed about broadcasting their absolute remedial education and stupidity to the extent that some of these people are, but they feel no shame because they're all about themselves. They worship at the altar of self while they blaspheme. That's what this is all about. So the purpose is to hijack the church. Who has held the rudder on the direction of the right in the United States for so many years? It's been the Christians. Well, if you can't remove Christianity, you can pervert it, just like the devil does. The devil can't create anything. The devil only perverts. That's what you're seeing with woke Rikers and trying to push this Russian Orthodox stuff now. And if people are upset over that, I hope you are. Demons will howl. Demons hate the light. And so they get louder. The closer to the truth you get, those demons holler and they scream and they cry out. And you notice it by their fruits. Notice all the ways they address people. They call Erica Kirk every name in the book. Every name in the book. Baseless. They sit here and act like, oh, she's a pedophile protector. All of those were completely ridiculous conspiracy theories that came from one Russian-backed entity. Shameful. All I know is this. I'm not concerned with vengeance in this life because God makes it very clear. He avenges the widow. He avenges the wronged. He brings injustice. But what I will say is this. Those people that push this stuff, dear God, the fate that awaits you at the hands of a mighty God. millstone around the neck, the depths of the sea, you have no idea what you're in store for with your satanic behavior and your blasphemy. And you're too proud and sinful to even recognize it now. And you know I'm right. So you can howl all you want to. We'll just get louder. We have a lot more on the way as we roll towards Days of the United States. Our partners that bring you the program, the folks over at Noble Gold. Because in times of uncertainty, people wait. They wait to invest. They wait to move money. They wait to see what the markets do. They wait on foreign policy decisions. They wait on economic decisions. But the thing is gold does not wait for you. It moves on fear, on instability, on the unknown. And so Noble Gold Investments has been helping people navigate this for a decade. They have a white glove service to walk you through everything step by step, whether it is buying physical gold or rolling over a part of your IRA. No high-pressure sales pitches either, because this is about education and making you confident in what you're doing to protect what you have built. Customer-first approach that makes everything completely easy to understand. They're not using all that Wall Street nonsense. They have trust and experience on a reputation that has earned it over the years. So don't wait for certainty that may never come. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com/Dana. That's noblegoldinvestments.com/Dana. Download your free investor kit today. No pressure, no obligation, just the info. noblegoldinvestments.com/Dana.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.
So every company these days loves to talk about American values, but too often it's just a slogan. It's a hashtag. It's not action. So this is why I like working with Patriot Mobile. So for more than 12 years, Patriot Mobile has been putting its money where its mouth is, standing up for the freedoms and the values that made this country amazing. And they were founded on a very simple idea. So if our culture is being shaped by the companies that we support, then Americans deserve a true conservative, alternative when it comes to cell phone service. And Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider, offering premium priority nationwide service on all 3 major U.S. networks, unlimited data plans, international roaming, and a 100% U.S.-based customer support team. And they can even give you access to 2 separate networks on one phone for extra coverage and peace of mind. In addition to providing great service, Patriot Mobile also contributes to organizations that defend free speech, religious liberty, the Second Amendment, the sanctity of life, and America's future. Join the movement today. Visit patriotmobile.com/Dana or call 972-PATRIOT and use promo code Dana for a free month of service. That's patriotmobile.com/Dana, 972-PATRIOT.
Hi, it's Hugh Hewitt on the next Hugh Hewitt Show. Brad Thorne's got his brand new thriller out. I'll be talking with him, Admiral Mark Montgomery, on whether or not we can get Project Freedom going again. And all the news of the weekend. And there will be a lot of news, especially out of Maine as Graham Plattner struggles to make it a Tuesday. Primary day in Maine. I'll cover all that and more on the next Hugh Hewitt Show.
He keeps his finger on the pulse in D.C. Hugh Hewitt.
Join me today at 3 on WMOH 1450 The Ticket. Keep that dial to the right.
Mark your calendar for June 13th through the 21st for the Friendship Flea Market. The Friendship Flea Market is very unique with nearly 500 vendor spaces selling a wide variety of new, used, primitives, and specialty foods. Bring the whole family. Roads are blacktopped and are stroller and wheelchair accessible. Admissions free, parking $3, and camping is available. Located in Friendship, Indiana on State Road 62, just a mile east of town. Call 812-667-5645 or visit friendshipfleamarket.com.
Looking for a friendly, fun tavern? Nick and Norm's Tavern on the west side of Hamilton has a friendly and entertaining staff, great food, and a large drink selection. At Nick and Norm's Tavern, you can play pool and darts inside, or you can sit in their outdoor area to enjoy your food and drinks. Singo and bike nights with Queen of Hearts drawing are on Wednesdays, Thirsty Thursdays, a DJ and karaoke on Fridays, and live bands on Saturdays. Stop in to Nick and Norm's Tavern on Millville Avenue at Wasserman Road on the west side of Hamilton. Nick and Norm's Tavern, a proud supporter of local youth athletics.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Hold everything.
This is your ticket to high school football.
He's going to flip it deep, and it is intercepted back at the 8-yard line by Fairfield. Indians have the ball. Josiah Leonard.
Basketball.
Oh, there's a steal by Bryce Curry in the backcourt. Oh, thunder dunker. He throws it down. Bryce Curry flushes up.
And baseball.
Swung on it. That's drilled into right field, going back on it and watching it leave the ballpark. Chandler Taylor, home run.
WMOH 1450, The Ticket.
From the WMOH Weather Center this afternoon, we'll bring us showers and a chance of thunderstorms and a high around 85. Showers likely tonight, chance of thunderstorms, low 68. Showers and a chance of thunderstorms Tuesday with a high 82. Showers likely, chance of thunderstorms Tuesday night with a low 70. Hot and humid Wednesday, showers likely with a chance of thunderstorms. Your high 88 with a heat index of 102. And partly cloudy Wednesday night with a low 72.
Now, back to Dana Lash on WMOH 1450, The Ticket.
Get the lowdown on the latest news with a side of laughs whenever you want. Subscribe to the Dana Show podcast on YouTube, Apple, or wherever you get your podcast.
Like sands through the hourglass, so are the days of the United States.
But what would you say to a Republican who says, James, if there was a Republican combat veteran who had a Nazi tattoo, a Totenkopf tattoo, you wouldn't be so forgiving? What would you say to that?
That's true. I would say you're exactly right. If that person was a 4-time combat veteran, I'd say I'd never vote for him, or maybe it's her now. We have women in combat. But you know, you can't. But I wouldn't vote. I think the greatest danger we face right now is from Donald Trump.
By the way, being a veteran is not a get-out-of-jail-free card. That doesn't mean that you can go and just act like a jackwagon and treat people horribly, et cetera, as Graham Plattner has obviously very clearly done. Just as being any other variable does not give anyone a get-out-of-jail-free card. And I find it ridiculous that Democrats spent D-Day weekend making these excuses for Graham Plattner. Just absolutely insane. And people like Carville. That was probably the tamest soundbite, I think, from maybe the past week that we could play of him. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's been a little crazy. And, of course, everything observance of D-Day, which is, I love the history of World War II. And just every year I always read about everything that, I mean, it's just there's so many completely amazing stories that took place in one day with thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of soldiers that made land and went in and knew, I mean, when they were approaching the shore, knowing what they were going to have to go through, waist deep, freezing water with a 70-pound pack and bullets whizzing at you from the cliffs. And so many people not making it initially, and yet they trudged forward anyway. You could either stay there and I think one of the quotes from the one of the stories I read is one lieutenant was telling fellow soldier, you can either stay here and die or you can move forward. And just the amazing feat we were able to accomplish. Just stunning. Second hour is on the way. We have a lot in store for you still yet. Stick with us.
1450, The Ticket.
All-Pro Anthony Munoz here for Rose Automotive, your all-pro automotive superstore. Rose delivers all-pro value and all-pro service for all makes, all models, all the time. My family and I have made Rose Automotive our one-stop shop for everything automotive. And I mean everything, sales, service, parts, and accessories. You want it, they'll deliver it. Call today at 863-7878. That's right, 863, my number, 7878. Just take exit 24 off I-75 and head to Hamilton. That's Rose Automotive, your new alternative.
Have you recently opened a brand new business and want to get the word out that you're open? Have an existing business and looking to increase profitability? Or are you looking to staff your new or existing business with employees? This is where WMOH Radio can be of help to you. Advertise your business to reach WMOH Radio's local and loyal listeners with your message that your business is open and ready to serve or looking for workers. Give us a call, 513-863-1111, and let us put the power of locally owned and operated 1450 WMOH Radio go to work for you.
This is your ticket to Miami University Sports, WMOH, Hamilton, Fairfield, Westchester, Cincinnati, 1450 The Ticket.
News at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. Israel and Iran traded fire in their first attack since the U.S. struck a ceasefire with Iran 2 months ago. The Iranian military said later that it was halting its offensive operations, and Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu implied the current round of fighting is over, but also said in a videotaped statement that further Iranian attacks would be met with force. A detailed security plan in place for tonight's NBA Championship Game 3 at Madison Square Garden in New York, as President Trump is set to become the first sitting U.S. president to attend an NBA Finals game.
Standing next to the head of the Secret Service in charge of the New York field office, the New York City Police Commissioner announcing the security plan for tonight. It includes frozen zones similar to how the NYPD operates on New Year's Eve for the Times Square ball drop. And there will be no watch parties tonight outside in front of Madison Square Garden, but those will be allowed again on Wednesday night for Game 4.
That is correspondent Laura Winters reporting. It's been a winning session for the most part on Wall Street right now. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is up by 23 points. A high-tech NASDAQ up by 335 at this hour. Even as President Trump prepares to lead the country in a celebration of the nation's 250th birthday, a new poll finds fewer Americans see the country as exceptional.
The survey from the Associated Press and Newark Center for Public Affairs Research highlights many Americans' feelings of unease over the future of its representative government, particularly among young people. It presents a jarring contrast as many communities around the country commemorate the nation's 250th anniversary. The new poll finds that only about 1/4 of Americans say that the U.S. stands above all other countries in the world, while 44% says it's one of the greatest countries in the world. About 3 in 10 said that there are better countries in the U.S., an increase from 19% in an AP NORC poll conducted in June of 2016. Bernie Bennett reporting.
More on these stories at townhall.com.
There's a moment nobody talks about with weight loss. It's the moment it stops working. The diet that worked before doesn't. Eating less stops moving the scale. That's not random. When your body's under stress, it slows your metabolism. That's why quick fixes eventually fail. At PhD Weight Loss, they focus on restoring your metabolism. And right now, when you call and mention Mike G, you'll get 2 free weeks and they'll pay for the cost of your food. Call 864-644-1900. That's 864-644-1900 or visit myphdweightloss.com.
Hi, I'm Kirk Cameron. Is health insurance eating up your budget for 2026? If you're looking for ways to better steward your finances, consider this. Christian Healthcare Ministries is a health insurance alternative at half the cost. As a ministry, CHM allows you to share the burden of medical bills with other believers. Join CHM today by visiting chministries.org/wellness. That's chministries.org/wellness.
1450 WMOH News. I'm Steve Vaughn. Will Hamilton City Council approve adult-use cannabis dispensaries in some business districts? A public hearing is scheduled Wednesday to address the issue. The Butler County Coroner's Office is investigating the death of a man found with traumatic injuries on the 400 block of South 12th Street Friday. 4 Westchester police officers remain on paid leave, while Ohio BCI and the Butler County Prosecutor's Office look into the shooting death of 39-year-old Lorenzo Miller. Body camera footage shows Miller was holding a knife to a woman's neck when he was shot in an apartment. He had a long and violent criminal history. A propane leak was quickly brought under control by St. Clair Township firefighters Sunday. Some homes were evacuated on the 3100 block of Fear Not Mills Road. 38-year-old Eric Holm of Norwood has died of injuries suffered in a paragliding accident near West Harrison, Indiana last week. I'm Steve Vaughn.
Looking for a friendly, fun tavern? Nick and Norm's Tavern on the west side of Hamilton has a friendly and entertaining staff, great food, and a large drink selection. At Nick and Norm's Tavern, you can play pool and darts inside, or you can sit in their outdoor area to enjoy your food and drinks. Singo and bike nights with Queen of Hearts drawing are on Wednesdays, Thirsty Thursdays, a DJ and karaoke on Fridays, and live bands on Saturdays. Stop in to Nick and Norm's Tavern on Millville Avenue at Wasserman Road on the west side of Hamilton. Nick and Norm's Tavern, a proud supporter of local youth athletics.
Life jackets help save lives. They come in a variety of choices and exciting new styles. Boating safety begins with the choices we make before leaving the dock. What's holding you up? This message brought to you by the Ohio Division of Watercraft.
The fun and sun of boating in Ohio is always exciting. As you head out on the water, remember to properly load your boat. And for safety's sake, keep your life jacket on at all times. This message brought to you by the Ohio Division of Watercraft.
Lock up your doors, turn your radios up. We got a big game here on 1450 The Ticket.
This is your ticket to high school football, basketball, and baseball.
Down the sideline. Yes! Touchdown! Hudson Hyde.
Tyson, pull up three.
Hello.
Got it. That was from college range, not high school.
Runner is on the way.
Oh, my goodness.
He is out from here to there.
Your ticket to high school sports.
This is the ticket you want to have.
WMOH 1450 The Ticket.
From the WMOH Weather Center, showers likely this afternoon with a chance of thunderstorms, high 85. Showers likely with a chance of thunderstorms tonight, low 68. Showers on Tuesday with a chance of thunderstorms, high 82. Showers likely, chance of thunderstorms Tuesday night with a low 70. Showers likely, chance of thunderstorms, hot and humid Wednesday with a high of 88. A heat index of 102. Partly cloudy Wednesday night with a low near 72.
WMOH 1450 The Ticket.
This is a Democrat infighting, and they're going to use these women. Now, everybody else is piled in. So many people on the left are now attacking these women. What happened to Believe All Women? What is taking them so long? They got rid of all of the safeguards that they would need in order to validate or affirm the integrity of a cast ballot. That doesn't make any sense.
The Dana Show with Dana Lash.
Welcome back to the program. Dana Lash with you. We're at the top of the second hour. I have to tell you, so I've been watching all of the stuff, what do you want to call it? The ballot counting? Okay. Is that, well,
that's what you want to do.
Well, what is the process that they say they're, I mean, we know they're cheating.
Of course. If you're just going to allow nothing but mail-in voting and then, of course, not require an ID, you're literally legalizing fraud.
What I don't get is how in the world so these are the ballots that people have mailed in, presumably before voting day or before the end of voting day. They mailed these ballots in. Why are they not counted? Why are they not all counted? That doesn't make any sense. I know I'm asking like a completely ridiculously obvious question, but let me just for a moment satisfy my own thing. I need to understand why they are pretending that what they're doing is part of a legal process. Because we're in Texas, and we're just talking about Los Angeles with the Spencer Pratt stuff. And by the way, welcome to the show, Dana Lash. Make sure to find Substack, chapter and verse, lots of good stuff up there. Ooh, by the way, I'm going to put the full speech from TPUSA for you subscribers up there here in a little bit. But to my point, the whole state of Texas, we get everything done and counted in a day. Like with the last elections that we had, when was it? I mean, there were people calling it because the votes were in so quick at like 6 something.
Yeah, they had the majority of them counted. Majority were in and majority were counted by 6.
One of my friends was on the way to a watch party and then turned around and was like, I'm not going because it's already over. It's nothing to watch. We're so fast. Every other state, it seems. But then California, then Los Angeles. So they're still counting. And you know what's so crazy? They just happened to get all of these votes, just to get all of the Democrats specifically. So apparently they had like one voter drop. What was it? Something like 30-something thousand. No, sorry, 40-something thousand votes. Not a single vote for Spencer Pratt. So crazy, Kane.
That's statistically not possible.
Well, I'm just telling you that's so now they're looking at in November the runoff being between that Nithya Raman lady and Karen Bass, despite the fact that because Spencer Pratt won and then they could not do that. So they're guys, wait a second before you say that he won. We just happened to find this big giant bag of ballots. So crazy. And they're all for Nithya Raman, even though no one in her own area was voting for her. In her own little LA district, nobody was voting for her. She wasn't even getting votes in the area in which she lived. Like her own neighbors weren't even voting for her. That's insane. That is insane. I think the point that you made, Ken, is good. So they can say that they're just following the law.
Yeah,
so they're doing all this performative nonsense.
Yeah, the legislature, along with the governor, who signed it into law.
How
they
does
set
she
that
get
legal process up?
That means 90% of the voters through mail and drop boxes voted for Nithya Raman.
Well, 100% based on the last 30-something
Yeah.
thousand.
And that's and after the last, so a new batch of votes, apparently she got over 40% of them. So after Karen Bass got to 35%, apparently Nithya Raman very conveniently just got all of the votes. Juan is showing you some of this now with the districts and the vote totals.
So none for Pratt and
None for Pratt, not even for Bass. It was just enough to get her. They're not even trying to make the cheating look plausible. Right. And this big bag of, I think it was something like, and by the way, the number happened to be the same number of homeless that were apparently in this certain part of Los Angeles. Pratt tweeted about it. Oh yeah, you didn't know that? Literally the exact same number.
What do you know?
This is fraud. That is so obvious. They don't even care. I think third world hellholes do it better than Los Angeles.
There's no thinking. That's true. It's 100% true.
I mean, she overtook him because they just happen to keep finding these batches of votes. And she was literally getting all of them. So crazy. Like here's one not a single, like one bag of just ballots for her. Who believes this? Nobody believes this. Not a single person believes that. That's just not mathematically possible at all. So I mean, his lead just in like one night because they found these new batches of ballots just disappeared. Just disappeared. That was it. That was it. She happened to get more than double of his gain. Do that many? Oh, and here's the other part of it. Here's the other crazy thing. So these ballots that they're getting, how likely are you to believe that they just didn't vote for anything else? Because the other people on the ballot, their vote totals didn't change. So it's like these people got a ballot and they only voted for mayor. They didn't. Oh, you didn't know that? I didn't. Yeah. They didn't even fill it. Nobody else's vote totals changed. They just quite literally only voted for that.
Well,
I'm sure that they didn't vote for governor. They didn't vote for anything else. Just that. They left everything else blank. Did they not have time to cheat better? I don't know. Like it doesn't make any sense. I just can't believe that there's. I don't believe that there's that many people that are there to vote for her. I just don't think that. And they said that Tom Steyer, all of these, like they said, like, for instance, he held showing little change. None of these other people's vote totals changed. It just happened to be Nithya Raman's. It just happened to be hers. Do you guys believe that? No. I don't believe that. This is insane. So all of these, I mean, this is absolute straight up theft. Straight up theft. This is not even overperforming. And for instance, one batch was approximately 4,000 votes, and it was all Nithya Raman. Yeah, but there's been multiple batches. That's how crazy this is. They were all for her. Do you guys believe that? Do you believe that just one whole batch just happens to be for that one woman who was trailing so badly. So you're telling me that all of her votes, nobody voted for her in person? It was just all that? That's what they're trying to argue here. She had such a lackluster election day performance. They're trying to tell you that over 90% of her votes came from mail-in ballots. Even if you were being generous with the possibility that that could happen, that exceeds that generosity by an insane amount. So my other question, and I know that Spencer Pratt was saying that he's not a Republican, or that, but he he's a Republican, but for this purpose, he's just for everybody. Where's the RNC? The RNC better be raising hell, because this will just happen in a general election. You'll see this happening at midterms. It's crazy. This is why, I mean, we're going to have some court action. I mean, this is why the Supreme Court decision on, voting and election day results it's so incredibly important, because now the whole thing is in limbo there. The whole thing is in limbo. Don't you find it interesting Karen Bass's vote totals didn't change? Yeah. Only just Nithya Raman. Only her. Now, this is in so many different states. So you have like Washington State. They listen to this. PJ Media did a rundown on some of these different states, and they're insane the way that they do this. So in Washington, I'm looking at notes here, their mail-in votes can be cured or changed. Is that what you think cured means? 21 days after Election Day. Voters are even given early voting privileges. Now, remember during COVID, there were a lot of battles over making it easier to vote. Making it easier to cheat. I didn't like how Georgia changed theirs. Mississippi, they changed theirs as well. So they gave because of the pandemic, they gave people who were stuck working at home, all that, they gave them more time for voting. Mississippi, you have 5 days after Election Day to get your ballots in. Some states require that, you have to be postmarked so you know when that ballot went out, and other states don't. California is one of them. You have no idea when that ballot was sent in. It could have been sent in after election, way after Election Day, days after Election Day, weeks after Election Day. You don't know. There's no postmark. There's no requirement for that. So this is why it's the U.S. Supreme Court decision. It's apparently going to be announced Thursday. And it's Watson v. Republican National Committee. And this comes from Mississippi's law, right? The law, the way that they had extended it was so it could trickle to 5 days after Election Day, so long as the post office has given it a postmark on Election Day. And so the RNC and the Libertarian Party sued. And they said that extending that conflicts with the U.S. Constitution, because the Constitution, look, states can determine how they want to control their elections, but we set the dates for the national, the general, the nation. And the Constitution has election days the Tuesday after the first Monday in November. So the states choose how they choose the process, the place, the manner, all of that. But the Constitution sets the time. And so what the suit is arguing is that by altering how they're voting, they are now in conflict with, I agree with this. I think this is, I don't know how this isn't a solid argument, that it contradicts the Constitution. And it absolutely does. So that's why, you see, and then some of the justices, so back in March when they had oral arguments on this, some of the justices, even some of the moderate ones, were like, oh, looks a little sketch, because now you're going to have people who are not going to trust the process, and somebody who won on election night, maybe in a week or 2 weeks later, they haven't won. Like what we're watching in Los Angeles right now. You had 80% of the vote counted, and she was losing by an egregious amount. And now all of a sudden, all of the votes that have come in, nobody else was voted for on the ballot, just her. And some of these batches of thousands of votes, all were for her. There is no statistical possibility of that in this reality. I can't. This is just, and the whole reason that she even entered this, that Nithya Raman even entered the mayoral race in Los Angeles, was to box out Spencer Pratt. Because when all of this first began, if you remember, she had already endorsed Karen Bass. And then when Spencer Pratt got in the race, and it looked like they're, even before his media onslaught, they decided that they got to get her in there. She's got to be a dark horse. Now, I do think that there's an argument to be made as to whether or not Spencer Pratt, without cheating, could win. But and the left could have just bided their time. But they decided to be stupid, and now Spencer Pratt went from being a long shot to being a serious candidate. And, I mean, there was questions as to whether or not he was going to win the runoff. Democrats should not be doing this before the runoff. This was one of the dumbest unforced errors I've ever seen. They decided to do the cheating before the runoff. How stupid is this? Because, quite frankly, and I wish he win, I hope he wins, but that general is going to be a killer. I don't know that he could have pulled it out, even not putting a foot wrong, because it's so progressively entrenched there. We'll talk more about this. I know we got to get moving because we have headlines. Our partners that bring you the program. It's our friends over at Preborn, which is a great organization out there saving lives every day. They saved over 80,000 lives last year. And they also brought over 10,000 women to Christ, which is amazing. And Preborn is incredibly important. They provide free ultrasounds, compassionate support to women and families that face unexpected pregnancies. And you have to think about this. You know, we're coming up on Father's Day, and dads are so often left out of the equation. I mean, thanks modern third wave, fourth wave feminism. Dads are left out of the equation. But nobody talks about how they also process an unexpected pregnancy. And a lot of guys fall for the same mind job that women do from society, that you're too weak and dumb. They tell the women you can't birth and raise a life, and they tell the men you can't support your wife and also help raise a life. And it's horrible. So what Preborn does is they meet these people where they are. They provide free ultrasounds. And you know, statistically, number of studies done on this, when a woman or a father, when they hear their baby's heartbeat for the first time, that baby's chance at life, if that couple, if that mother, if that dad is considering abortion, that baby's chance at life doubles. And so Preborn starts with the free ultrasound, but they don't end there. They partner with these families for the first 2 years of their lives, making sure that they get off on a solid start and develop a strong foundation that is the cornerstone of this republic. And while fathers may also feel overwhelmed and uncertain, Preborn also helps them feel supported and included in this process. One ultrasound is $28. You can sponsor one ultrasound and help save a baby's life while supporting parents in this critical time. You can help another father experience a moment of hope for $28. Sponsor an ultrasound through Preborn. Help expectant parents see a future filled with life and the hope of God's love. Donate, dial pound 250, say the word baby. That's pound 250, say the word baby, or visit preborn.com/Dana. When it comes to being prepared, a little diversity can go a long way, and that's where Byrna comes in, a practical personal security option designed to fit real life. No matter the situation, Byrna can be a diverse backup when carrying is not possible. You carry different calibers and blades even, so why not incorporate Byrna when your options are limited? It gives people another tool to consider when their ability to defend themselves using their Second Amendment rights are compromised. So if you're looking for an alternative, consider Byrna. It's easy to use, there is no recoil, easy target acquisition, and there are no permits required, no background checks, no waiting periods. You order it online and it ships right to your front porch. Proudly assembled in Fort Wayne, Indiana, Byrna is built by hardworking Americans dedicated to your safety. Visit Byrna.com/Dana and get your Byrna today. So if you're looking for an alternative, consider Byrna. That's Byrna.com/Dana, ready when you are.
Larry Elder.
It is official that Democrat Javier Becerra will be one of the top two finishers for the race for governor in California. The issue is whether or not the slow ballots coming in will generate enough to push Steve Hilton out of the race. So far, the gap between Hilton and billionaire Tom Steyer is so wide, I believe that Steve Hilton will in fact square off against Javier Becerra in the fall. Can't wait for the debates.
The Larry Elder Show.
Join me weekday evenings at 6 on WMOH 1450 The Ticket.
Start saving this summer at AE Door and Window. All through June, save up to 15% off Provia entry doors and sliders, as well as select Clopay garage doors. Save up to 20% off windows by Pella and Provia. Combine and save for another 5% off your total order and get up to $100 off a next generation LiftMaster opener. All with zero down, zero interest for 2 years. Learn more at aeDoorsales.com.
We sell the best and service the rest. AE.
He's off to the races. No one's going to catch him. Touchdown.
Local business owners, get in on the football excitement and let your message be heard. Join the growing number of businesses supporting high school sports on 1450 The Ticket at very affordable rates. Simply contact the WMOH 1450 The Ticket sales office at 513-863-1111. You are listening, and so are many of your future customers. Let area football fans know that you support high school sports on 1450 The Ticket, and they'll support you.
This is Dana Lash. We'll be right back on WMOH 1450 The Ticket.
All of us love sports, but not all sports are created equal. College sports have big budgets, dedicated alumni networks, and corporate sponsorships. Professional sports have even deeper pockets, millionaire owners, lucrative TV and radio deals, and merchandise sales. High school sports have you. Everyone agrees high school sports give us plenty of reasons to cheer. And now's a great time for us to give back. Supporting your hometown high school won't cost you much, but it will go a long way to ensuring the games we love the most are here to stay. Ohio high school sports. They're good for our kids, good for our community, and best of all, they're good for you.
This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
It's mosquito season in Ohio and time to fight the bite. Some mosquitoes can carry diseases like West Nile, lacrosse, and Zika viruses. Protect yourself and your family this season. Wear EPA-registered repellent when you go outside. Stay indoors during peak mosquito time, and remove standing water around your home where mosquitoes breed. Also, wear long sleeves and pants when possible. Tell mosquitoes to buzz off and fight the bite. For more information, click on ohio.gov/mosquito. This message brought to you by the Ohio Department of Health.
High School Tournament Baseball, installed by AE Door and Window.
Into the outfield for a base hit. Derek Ogden continues his hot hitting like a gazelle out there. Chandler Taylor covers a ton of ground, runs that one down. Got him looking. Caleb Treason, a complete game 3 hitter, and the Baton Rams are heading back to Canton.
Thursday, Baton plays Padua Franciscan in the Division III state semifinals.
Swung on and missed.
Coverage begins Thursday at 3:35 on 1450 The Ticket and on WMOH.com.
From the WMOH Weather Center, this afternoon will bring us showers and a chance of thunderstorms and a high around 85. Showers likely tonight, chance of thunderstorms, low 68. Showers and a chance of thunderstorms Tuesday with a high 82. Showers likely, chance of thunderstorms Tuesday night with a low 70. Hot and humid Wednesday, showers likely with a chance of thunderstorms, your high 88 with a heat index of 102. And partly cloudy Wednesday night with a low 72.
Now, back to Dana Lash on WMOH 1450 The Ticket.
And now, all of the news you would probably miss. It's time for Dana's Quick Five.
Scientists found a fossil of a 120 million year old bird-like dinosaur in China. They said that it offers insights into micro-raptor movement. Wait, full stop. I don't like regular raptors. They're a little scary. I saw Jurassic Park. I know y'all did too. Micro-raptor? What is it, tinier and meaner? I don't like that. They said that it's a remarkably well-preserved dinosaur fossil discovered in northwestern China. I immediately don't believe anything that they've discovered over there, providing new insights into these small feathered predators known as micro-raptors. I don't believe anything that's how bad it is. How bad is that? You don't believe a single thing that China has. I went very, very long last segment, and I apologize for that, but we have a lot more on the way. The attempted rehabilitation of Hunter Biden. Wait until you hear this. So, I've been talking about human supplements for years, and not just because they make the #1 best-selling Super Beats, but because when it comes to cardiovascular health, they really stay ahead of the science. And if you're anything like me, you're focused on health. But cholesterol, for a lot of folks, can feel confusing. So this is what I've read. About 80% of your body's cholesterol is actually produced internally, and it plays a key role in things like cellular health, hormone production. So this is why Human created Cholesterol Health Daily. It's a very simple 2-capsule-a-day routine, all designed to support your cholesterol from multiple angles. It's made with plant-based, clinically studied ingredients, including aged black garlic to support your good HDL cholesterol without the garlic taste, plus patented Italian citrus bergamot for healthy triglycerides and lipid metabolism. It's about keeping things simple but effective, and it fits right into your daily routine. Right now, for a limited time, you can save $5 on Human Cholesterol Daily at Sam's Club. You just head to your local Sam's Club and do more to support your cholesterol health with the Science First brand that I trust. But the $5 savings for a limited time only.
1450 WMOH News. I'm Steve Vaughn. Ohio BCI and the Butler County Prosecutor's Office continue their investigation of a deadly police-involved shooting Thursday night. 39-year-old Lorenzo Miller was shot by Westchester police while he held a knife to a 31-year-old woman, according to body camera footage. Miller had a long and violent criminal record. Gas prices continue to tumble in greater Cincinnati. Gas Buddy says regular unleaded is averaging $3.80 a gallon, down 31 cents from last week's average. Prices have dropped 84 cents over the past month. Hamilton City Council will hold a public hearing during Wednesday's meeting on a proposal which would allow cannabis dispensaries in some limited business districts. Kings High School wins the Division II State Softball Championship with a 12-4 win over Westerville Central. And Lakota West runner Sonia Taylor won the state title in the girls' 400-meter at the Ohio High School track meet. I'm Steve Vaughn.
Hi, it's Hugh Hewitt on the next Hugh Hewitt Show. Brad Thor's got his brand new thriller out. I'll be talking with him, Admiral Mark Montgomery, on whether or not we can get Project Freedom going again. And all the news of the weekend. And there will be a lot of news, especially out of Maine as Graham Plattner struggles to make it a Tuesday. Primary day in Maine. I'll cover all that and more on the next Hugh Hewitt Show.
He keeps his finger on the pulse in D.C. Hugh Hewitt.
Join me today at 3 on WMOH 1450 The Ticket. Keep that dial to the right.
Bienvenidos, amigos. That's how you are welcomed at the area's #1 Latin American foods supermercado y restaurante. And you don't have to speak or understand Spanish to enjoy all that El Gran Valle Verde has to offer. All of your favorite Latin American grocery needs are in stock, and delivery is available too. And if you're not in a cooking mood for groceries, El Gran Valle Verde has a full-service restaurante with all of your favorites. El Gran Valle Verde, nearby in the Hamilton Plaza Shopping Center on Dixie Highway in Hamilton. Nos vemos pronto.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
Madison Square Garden is going to be absolute chaos tonight. The Knicks are back home with a 2-0 finals lead, but Jalen Brunson isn't celebrating just yet. Meanwhile, Wemby and the young Spurs are loose, confident, and ready to back. With ticket prices soaring and massive security in the building, Game 3 is going to be a circus. But I think the Knicks will win Game 3. I'm Addie Bates.
Stop your grinding with Brooks Night Guard.
Are you waking up in the morning with a sore jaw, headaches, ringing in your ears, all because you're grinding and clenching your teeth at night? That's exactly what was going on with me. I ended up going to a dentist, and he wants to charge over $600 for a night guard. That's when I found the Brooks Night Guard. You mold it at home to the top or bottom teeth. Other mouth guards go all the way to the back, which allows the back teeth to touch. This is where most of the grinding and clenching occurs. The Brooks Night Guard redirects the bite force away from the back teeth, reducing jaw pain while still protecting the teeth. This unique design is what makes Brooks Night Guard different from all other traditional grind guards. Order your Brooks Night Guard today and get 10% off plus free shipping. Go to brooksnightguard.com and enter the code BRUX91. That's BRUX91.
Stop your grinding with Brooks Night Guard.
My neighbor invited me to a Wounded Warrior Project event. I didn't know what to expect, but it felt like everyone understood me. We got each other. So I got more involved. I joined support groups with other women warriors, and it helped me realize a new purpose in my life.
Through our hands-on programs, supportive community, and ongoing advocacy, we help post-9/11 veterans realize what's possible. Learn more at woundedwarriorproject.org/possible.
There's danger out there. It lurks on highways and quiet neighborhood streets. It's more likely to kill you than a shark and more terrifying than the biggest snake. Distracted driving claims lives every day. Every notification, swipe, social post, video, or selfie while driving risks your life. So while you might think public speaking or the zombie apocalypse is scary, what's really terrifying and even deadly is distracted driving. Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
High School Tournament Baseball, installed by AE Door and Window.
And the Baden Rams are heading back to Canton.
Thursday, Baden plays Padua Franciscan in the Division III state semifinals. Coverage begins Thursday at 3:35 on 1450 The Ticket.
From the WMOH Weather Center, showers likely this afternoon with a chance of thunderstorms, high 85. Showers likely with a chance of thunderstorms tonight, low 68. Showers on Tuesday with a chance of thunderstorms, high 82. Showers likely, chance of thunderstorms Tuesday night with a low 70. Showers likely, chance of thunderstorms, hot and humid Wednesday with a high of 88. A heat index of 102. Partly cloudy Wednesday night with a low near 72.
This is Hugh Hewitt. Join me today at 3 on WMOH 1450 The Ticket.
Your fast, funny, and informative news companion for those always on the move. Subscribe on YouTube, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to the program. Dana Lash with you. And make sure you check out Substack, Chapter and Verse, because there's always a lot of really good stuff up there. Like, for instance, Lorraine has a deep dive on Alexander Dugin, which I'm going to cover. We're going to talk about regularly on this program. We said we would. It's all part of the war for the soul of the right. And this is the kooky guy who is trying to, he's the kook behind the multipolarity push. And he's the one that all the woke Rikers, when they went to Moscow last week, they met with. The history on this is insane. Lorraine's piece is a must-read on this, and you need to bookmark it. He's a guy who, Alexander Dugin is a pseudo-intellectual. When you actually listen to him, you're like, what? And realize he's not a real intellectual. But he's a guy that Bannon loves, and you guys know I don't like Steve Bannon, and I've known him personally for 15 years, so I have a lot of real-life insight into why I don't like him. There's some really good reasons there. And not just me, every single original Breitbart editor for Andrew Breitbart before he passed. There's a reason why we all think the same thing. Common denominator in us, it's him. So Tucker Carlson said, he's the most famous political philosopher in Russia, and Amazon won't sell his books. He's the guy who, he's literally a Satanist. He's into mysticism. He's into the occult. He's been taken part in all these satanic rituals, and you're seeing part of the post that Juan is showing you now. He is a Nazi. He's always had Nazi sympathies. This is all well documented stuff. All the receipts Lorraine has in this post, if you're interested, which you need to. But the background on this is crazy. This guy has been at this for some time, and all of the big players in the woke Reich really, really promote this guy. So listen to this. He really began actively, like in the aughts, like go back 20 years. He began really trying hard. It's a psyop on America. And remember what I told you in the beginning. When we started the program, one of the reasons why, for instance, TPUSA is so under attack is because it is the largest pro-Christian, pro-liberty, pro-West youth organization in the world. And every single time that you've had a communist uprising or whatever, it all began by brainwashing the youth, and then the youth would rise up. Go back and look at Nazi Germany in the early days. Go back and look at the Maoist revolution. Everywhere. South America. Everywhere. It's always happened that way. In Albania, it's happened that way. Everything always begins with youth movements. And so you have this pro-Christian, pro-West, pro-liberty movement. And that is a big threat to tyrants who want to brainwash a populace. And you have to destabilize a country psychologically before you can conquer them militarily, especially a country like the United States. And so this is part of what Dugin does. You guys remember, go all the way back. I hate even saying his name. He is literally, like, please know that when I call someone something, it's because they've stated that they are. If you're out there saying that you love Hitler and that you love Nazis and you think that they were amazing, that makes you a Nazi. So I feel like that's deserved. So we come to Richard Spencer, who is this, white supremacist Nazi lover. His ex-wife was Alexander Dugin's American translator. All of these connections, guys, when you step back and look at all the connections here, you begin to see very quickly that none of this is organic. And remember, Spencer was involved in that Unite the Right thing. I wonder if Southern Poverty Law Center paid him too. I'm curious. And so they love Dugin. They love Dugin. And Alex Jones, he's hosted Dugin multiple times. And they all claim that they hate the globalists. This gets crazy. Mike Flynn, General Mike Flynn, apparently his family priest, Carlo Vigano, was associated with Dugin for years, Lorraine notes. Flynn also has connections through some of his lobbying firm's clients. Some of these names are going to shock you. They're really going to shock you. And so you see a lot of these woke Rikers shift with this, whether it's Gal Sharpton, whether it's Fuentes, whether it's all of this. They, and I think Gal Sharpton, I don't like saying her name, not because I find it reverent. It's just because I think she's trash and I don't want it to infect my program. I don't want the algorithm to be infected with that level of stupidity. But the shift to this multipolarity as they got closer to him, that's when it started happening. And she's like out there saying she's the bridge between Russia and the United States, and even talked about what I was talking about, the Russian Orthodox Church and, Western Christianity. So all of this is all connected. It is an absolute op, and people need to see it. You need to read this post that Lorraine has. It's not behind a paywall. It gets into Ryan Morrow's piece as well, and how Dugin and really Russia are trying to make Christians, particularly in America, question, is it faith or patriotism in your list of priorities? Which comes first? And how patriotism has to go above faith and all of this other stuff, which gets into the Russian Orthodox Church, which weaponizes the church as a way to push the state, right? That's the whole point of it. And so this, you need to know who these people are and what their ideologies are to understand what is coming from this, to really understand this. And this disconnect, it's in the White House. It is absolutely in the White House. And you have the Red-Green Alliance, where you have Islamism and communism working together to try to destabilize the West. And a lot of these woke Rikers out there, I think they really believe this stuff. Some of them are just click whores, and they want the digital traffic. That's it. They're ideologically shallow. They're empty, airheaded vessels. So it's kind of like a half and half sort of thing is really what it is. But they're really trying to do everything that they possibly can to undermine the ideology of it here in the United States. It's something else. You need to go read that post, though, if you haven't yet already. The other thing, speaking of the woke right, so Tom Massey said he's going on. Suddenly, Tom Massey is so concerned about USS Liberty. All the time that Tom Massey has been in Congress, this man has about the USS Liberty. And now suddenly, now that he was defeated by his own voters, which he blames as being, he's basically pulled a Hillary Clinton and called his own voters basically deplorables, like Hillary Clinton has called them. That's kind of what he's done. Really. He's never said anything about USS Liberty. Now, all of a sudden, because it's a woke right talking point, he wants to start pushing USS Liberty. Let me explain. We've talked about this once, but since he's doing this today, I feel like it's incredibly important that you are aware of what this is, right? This is insane. So the USS Liberty was, it was kind of a spy ship, really. It was like a technical research ship for the Navy, and it went into the Mediterranean. This was during the 6-Day War. In fact, it was, I think, like 2 days in the 6-Day War, right back in 67, back in 1967, and so that's when you had Israel that was attacked by a bunch of its Arab neighbors, right? You had Syria, you had Iraq, you had Jordan, Egypt, Lebanon, so literally every one of its neighbors, and it was mistakenly attacked by Israeli forces because they originally thought it may have been an Egyptian ship. Now, that's very plausible, and here's why. and you had 34 people killed. You had 171 wounded. Before it started, the Liberty was told to proceed, go into the Eastern Mediterranean, and there's been a lot of really great write-ups on this. And they needed to perform what they called signals of intelligence in this area. They were doing collection in international waters. They were told stay in international waters. It was like north of Sinai, the Sinai Peninsula, and they were told the closest allowable point was like almost 13 nautical miles from Egypt and about 7 nautical miles from Israel, right? And again, day 2 of the 6-day war. So it's completely crazy over there right now. And then when the conflict kicked off, they were sent follow-up messages. But here's the problem. One of the things during the investigation that they discovered is that the message handling and the routing of the messages was a cluster foobar. It was completely ineffective, and the messages that they were trying to relay to the Liberty were not received until after the attack. So you had the USS Liberty that legit just went right into the middle of a damn war zone, 6-day war. All hell's breaking loose because of absolutely ridiculous communication. And also, they were told, I want to know who told them that they could even get that close. No one's asking that question. Who is the person that gave them the order that they can continue? That's what I would like to know. They sailed right in the middle of literally an active war zone. I think because of poor direction and poor communication. So the Liberty was apparently spotted by a number of different Israeli aircraft, and they were trying to figure out, okay, what is this boat that's advancing? What is happening here? Now, remember, day 2 of the 6-day war, they're being fired on by everybody. Liberty ended up getting 20 nautical miles from Sinai. They kept going. Then they kept getting closer. And then they had Israeli torpedo boats and aircraft dispatched to the area, and they were trying to figure out what was happening. Apparently multiple reports were sent to the USS Liberty about what was unfolding, but apparently it was not identified as it was not identified as a U.S. vessel at the time. And there were different reports from other vessels coming through at the same time. And again, you are in the fog of war. It is complete chaos. Messaging is ineffective. The routing of the communication is jacked. So based on all of the information that was coming out in the investigation, they originally identified it as an Egyptian destroyer. So they had a couple of jets that were given permission to engage. They did a strafing run, and there were fatalities, wounded. And this was like 90 minutes, and then there were several attacks that took place, right? Israel informed the U.S. Embassy in Tel Aviv after they figured out what was happening. And remember, the United States and Israel weren't even allies yet at this time. Israel was trying to get the United States to be its ally. You need to understand this. They were not allies at the time. Israel was trying to get the United States as its ally, and maybe this intelligence expedition was a way of maybe checking that out. I don't know. Nobody knows. But the point is that they wanted the United States to be an ally. So you have to stop here and go, why the hell would they bomb somebody that they're desperately trying to get as an ally and have been doing all of this work up until that point, trying to get them to come on as an ally? When they realized what had happened, understandably, they were like, oh my gosh. They had apologies that were sent in by the Israeli prime minister. They immediately were investigating the chain of command. They had compensated all of the victims and all of their families. In the fog of war, and they showed that as soon as Israeli forces during the investigation, when they identified the Liberty, they stopped the attack in a second. And there were a lot of questions as to, well, about the markings of the ship, etc. There were a number of things that went in, and we can talk about that coming up because we're running short on time in this segment, but I'll get into it. But the transcript showed that all of the Israeli personnel that were communicating, they believed that that was an Egyptian ship. And that's what it is. And I'll tell you, a lot of people think that there are not friendly fire incidents, and there absolutely are friendly fire incidents that take place. I'll have you reminded of Pat Tillman. Pat Tillman, that was a friendly fire incident. It was covered up for a while. He was killed by members of his own platoon in 2004 in Afghanistan. Not on purpose. Good heavens. Friendly fire. This happens a lot. We had, and the cover-up, you've had Black Hawks in 1994 that were shot down by our own F-15s. I could sit here and give you an insane list. Every single conflict. We have had friendly fire tragedies. You know, in World War II, Normandy bombers, accidentally friendly fire incident, killed some of our guys. In the Gulf War, there was tank-on-tank friendly fire. This is part of the fog of war. This is why war is hell. But to fabricate baselessly conspiracy theories on this, to advocate an Islamist, Marxist, red-green point of view to destabilize the relationship between the the leader of the free world and the only ally in the Middle East, well, there's a purpose to that. And it flies in the face of all available facts. We have more on this. Of course, Thomas Massey, who's never spoken about the USS Liberty ever in his life, and is only doing this because now the woke Reich is the only place that he has to go. Now that his own voters rejected him. Suddenly, and now he's going to do the insult. I've never seen a man who is so intelligent be so stupid. We have more on the way as we roll towards Florida Man. The partners who bring our program, it's the folks over at Patriot Mobile, the only Christian conservative cell phone service in existence. And they want to not only save you money, they're going to bring you great service, but they're also going to save you money. You get premium priority nationwide service across all 3 major U.S. networks, unlimited data plans, international roaming, 100% U.S.-based customer support, and they combine their strong service with a commitment to the American values that we all work to protect. I'm talking free speech, religious liberty, the Second Amendment, sanctity of life, all of it. It is so easy to switch. You don't have to go into a store. You can sit on your sofa and do it if you wanted to. You can keep your phone, keep your number, or upgrade. And every customer call is answered by real people based in the USA. Their whole team is based right here. And they support our Christian conservative values while delivering dependable, affordable, wireless service. And by the way, if you're in a contract, they have a contract buyout program. So don't let anything stop you from switching to the only Christian conservative cell phone service. I've used them legitimately, no joke, for over a decade. I think it's better than the service that I ever had, and it's more affordable. So you get superior coverage, superior products, superior customer service. Why would you not switch? Visit patriotmobile.com/Dana or call 972-PATRIOT and use promo code Dana to get your free month of service. That's patriotmobile.com/Dana, 972-PATRIOT, promo code Dana for a free month of service.
Hey, airline travelers, let's say you have a problem and you need to change or cancel an existing airline reservation. What do? Well, Skywatch is a free service that can help anyone with any airline reservation fix it. Whether you want to cancel it, change your dates, or add passengers, we can help fix your airline reservations so you get exactly what you need. We've updated our computer database and now have access to every airline around the globe. So now you can make one phone call regardless of who booked your airline tickets, and we'll change it, cancel it, and fix it for you. We know the insider secrets to fixing reservations that the airlines don't want you to know about. So if you need to cancel, change, or modify an existing airline reservation, call Skywatch right now. It's a free call, so let us fix it for you. 800-419-1964. 800-419-1964. 800-419-1964. That's 800-419-1964.
What's worse than summer heat? Trying to sleep on a mattress that turns into a sauna every single night. So if you're waking up sweaty and kicking the covers off and flipping your pillow over for the cool side, it's your mattress trapping the heat. So that's why I love GhostBed, because I notice the difference almost immediately. It's just better temperature regulation, less tension. You don't wake up feeling stiff and sore. And the cooling technology is built into every mattress. It's not some ridiculous upcharge. Some of GhostBed's happiest customers are hot sleepers. I mean, just check out the reviews. Life is too short to spend another summer sleeping badly. GhostBed gives you 101 nights to try it at home. And if you don't like it, they offer free returns. So that means you can sleep on it all summer long and decide for yourself. And if you don't feel the difference, you just send it back. GhostBed is offering my audience an extra 10% off. So visit ghostbed.com/Dana and use promo code Dana. Life is too short to spend another summer sleeping badly. So visit ghostbed.com/Dana. That's ghostbed.com/Dana, promo code Dana for 10% off.
This is Dana Lash. We'll be right back on WMOH 1450, The Ticket.
Hi, it's Hugh Hewitt on the next Hugh Hewitt Show. Brad Thor's got his brand new thriller out. I'll be talking with him, Admiral Mark Montgomery, on whether or not we can get Project Freedom going again. And all the news of the weekend. And there will be a lot of news, especially out of Maine as Graham Plattner struggles to make it a Tuesday. primary day in Maine. I'll cover all that and more on the next Hugh Hewitt Show.
He keeps his finger on the pulse in D.C. Hugh Hewitt.
Join me today at 3 on WMOH 1450 The Ticket. Keep that dial to the right.
Mark your calendar for June 13th through the 21st for the Friendship Flea Market. The Friendship Flea Market is very unique with nearly 500 vendor spaces selling a wide variety of new, used, primitives, and specialty foods. Bring the whole family. Roads are blacktopped and are stroller and wheelchair accessible. Admissions free, parking $3, and camping is available. Located in Friendship, Indiana on State Road 62, just a mile east of town. Call 812-667-5645 or visit friendshipfleamarket.com.
The Human and Social Services major at Cincinnati State offers a fast, affordable path into meaningful work without the time or cost of a 4-year degree. In just 2 years, you'll complete 300 hours of hands-on practicum, working directly with clients in community agencies, behavioral health programs, and support organizations. With built-in field experience and a job-ready credential, you'll stand out in a growing field. Enroll today. Visit cincinnatistate.edu.
When you get a diagnosis of Parkinson's disease, things get real.
And nobody understands that better than the Parkinson's Foundation. We provide resources and support because there are things you can do to improve your quality of life. So, whether you're newly diagnosed, have been living with Parkinson's, or caring for a loved one,
Find real answers at the Parkinson's Foundation.
Go to parkinson.org or call our helpline at 1-800-4PD-INFO.
High School Tournament Baseball, installed by A.E. Door and Window.
Into the outfield for a base hit. Derek Ogden continues his hot hitting like a gazelle out there. Chandler Taylor covers a ton of ground, runs that one down. Got him looking. Caleb Treason, a complete Game 3 hitter, and the Baton Rams are heading back to Canton.
Thursday, Baton plays Padua Franciscan in the Division III state semifinals.
Swung on and missed.
Coverage begins Thursday at 3:35 on 1450 The Ticket and on WMOH.com.
From the WMOH Weather Center this afternoon, we'll bring us showers and a chance of thunderstorms and a high around 85. Showers likely tonight, chance of thunderstorms low 68. Showers and a chance of thunderstorms Tuesday with a high 82. Showers likely, chance of thunderstorms Tuesday night with a low 70. Hot and humid Wednesday, showers likely with a chance of thunderstorms. Your high 88 with a heat index of 102. And partly cloudy Wednesday night with a low 72.
Now, back to Dana Lash on WMOH 1450 The Ticket.
It's his life mission to make bad decisions. It's time for Florida Man.
All right, where to start? We're going to start with a three-legged bear in Florida that I did not have on my bingo card. This is cut 25. Watch this. Three-legged bear. You know what my first thought was? They really are going after our right to bear arms right now. I know that's a bad joke, but still. I hope somebody helps this poor dude, this little man. What's happened to him? Oh, my goodness. Look at this. See, I think I look at animals in nature, and I'm like, pet? They would rip my face off with its remaining arms, legs, whatever. Yeah, can I pet that bear? So, three-legged bear wandering around, but I hope there's like a bear rescue that aids him or her. I don't know. Do we know what it is? I don't think we know. All right. Next up. Oh, boy. All right, here we go. This is why Kane doesn't like old people. So, a 79-year-old Florida man was caught holding his Frankenbeans in the front lawn in front of teenagers. Oh, yeah. He's so grody. He was watering his lawn and holding his junk in Polk County. 75-year-old Gary Golter of Sunnywood Circle. They said that he was watering his grass with a hose in his right hand, and this is literally what the sheriff said. Quote, "It was sunny. He was watering his grass with a hose in his right hand, and he had his crank in his left hand." It's literally how he said it. Why are people gross? Just stop being nasty. Just stop. And also, ABC7 in Florida, stop with your stupid pop-up ads. But he was in front of 16 and 13-year-old girls, so he was arrested, clearly. Charged with vulgar and indecent public nudity, lewd exhibition. That's disgusting. I mean, let's not. Also, we've got a 15-mile-per-hour slow-motion pursuit. Ended up with the motorcyclist behind bars. 15 miles per hour. At that point, you could almost chase him yourself on foot. But that's what happened. It was all on camera. Bunnell, Florida. A Florida man was accused of fleeing on a battered motorcycle. He only went 15 miles per hour before it came to an abrupt end in Flagler County, and they got him in custody. We have third hour on the way. Stick with us.
1450 The Ticket.
Don't get caught letting your furnace or air conditioner break down during temperature extremes. Your system needs to operate efficiently at all times. Butler County Mechanical Services is your dependable neighborhood heating and cooling company, offering reliable 24-hour service 7 days a week. And be sure to ask about their annual maintenance contract. That's Butler County Mechanical Services. Call them for your heating and air conditioning system tune-up or repair.
892-1444. 892-1444.
Congress is poised to pass a bill to keep AM radio in cars, but time is running out. 82 million Americans risk losing the news, sports, talk, traffic, and vital emergency information they rely on. Text AM to 52886 and tell Congress to pass this bill now.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
This is your ticket to high school sports. WMOH, Hamilton, Fairfield, Westchester, Cincinnati. 1450 The Ticket.
Breaking news at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. Good news in the conflict between Iran and Israel as the Islamic Republic says it will stop firing rockets into Israel.
President Trump taking to his Truth Social page to post about the latest developments in the Middle East. He writes, both sides, Israel and Iran, are looking to do an immediate ceasefire in capital letters. Final negotiations on peace are proceeding, subject to ignorance or stupidity getting in its way. The president goes on to say the blockade will remain in place and in full force and effect until a final deal is reached. Things should move quickly.
That is Laura Winters reporting. The European Union today imposed sanctions on the spokesman for the naval arm of Iran's Revolutionary Guard and a regional command over the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. At a news conference in Nicosia, Cyprus, the EU's Kaja Kallas said an intensifying war in the Middle East needs to be avoided.
A return to full-scale war would come at tremendous cost to the entire region. All sides must come back to the negotiation table.
Europe has been left largely on the sidelines as the U.S. war with Iran has shuttered the key waterway and roiled global markets in the process. New poll shows fewer Americans see their country as exceptional as it prepares to celebrate a 250th birthday.
A new AP Norc poll finds that as the U.S. prepares to celebrate its 250th anniversary, fewer Americans see their country or its system of government as exceptional. The findings highlight many Americans' feelings of unease over the future of its representative government, particularly among young people. Only about a quarter of Americans say the U.S. stands above all other countries in the world, and Americans are less likely to see a democratically elected government as extremely or very important to the United States' identity as a nation than they were just a few years ago.
That is Julie Walker. More from townhall.com.
There's a moment nobody talks about with weight loss. It's the moment it stops working. The diet that worked before doesn't. Eating less stops moving the scale. That's not random. When your body's under stress, it slows your metabolism. That's why quick fixes eventually fail. At PhD Weight Loss, they focus on restoring your metabolism. And right now, when you call and mention Mike G, you'll get 2 free weeks and they'll pay for the cost of your food. Call 864-644-1900. That's 864-644-1900 or visit myphdweightloss.com.
Hi, this is Rhett Rasmussen of BestHotGrill.com. We make the amazing Solaire infrared gas grills that are built to last and will consistently deliver better than restaurant grilled food. The Solaire infrared burner heats up to 1,000 degrees in just 3 minutes, even in the dead of winter. The high heat locks in the juices and flavor and grills food faster. Learn more about these fantastic USA-made grills at BestHotGrill.com. Solaire, hot, fast grills at BestHotGrill.com.
1450 WMOH News. I'm Steve Vaughn. The investigation continues into the death of a man found on the 400 block of South 12th Street in Hamilton Friday. Police say the victim had traumatic injuries. The man shot to death by police at a Westchester apartment Friday had a long and violent criminal history that included murder. 39-year-old Lorenzo Miller was holding a knife to a woman's neck when he was shot. 4 officers are on paid leave during the investigation. A propane leak forced the evacuation of some homes in the Cedar Grove neighborhood south of 7 Mile. St. Clair Township firefighters quickly capped the leak from a faulty valve on the 3100 block of Fear Not Mills Road. You're paying less at the pump. Gas Buddy says regular unleaded is averaging $3.80 a gallon. In Greater Cincinnati, down 31 cents from last week. A paragliding accident in southeast Indiana last week has turned fatal. The victim, 38-year-old Eric Holm of Norwood, died Friday. I'm Steve Vaughn.
Looking for a reason to try the $5 meal deal with new McValue? Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and the price makes 5.
So much.
Get more than you expect with the $5 meal deal with new McValue.
The Quarter Pounder with cheese had many great things. Maple-flavored griddle cakes isn't one of them. McDonald's breakfast comes first. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Your local McDonald's on South Erie Highway in Hamilton, Nellis Road in Fairfield, Route 4 at McGee in Fairfield, and on Princeton Road next to Menards at Bridgewater.
Back pass pressured in the backfield. He's brought down again. Another sack.
Local business owners, get in on the football excitement and let your message be heard. Join the growing number of businesses supporting high school sports on 1450 The Ticket at very affordable rates. Simply contact the WMOH 1450 The Ticket sales office at 513-863-1111. You are listening, and so are many of your future customers. Let area football fans know that you support high school sports on 1450 The Ticket, and they'll support you. High School Tournament Baseball, installed by AE Door and Window.
Into the outfield for a base hit. Derek Ogden continues his hot hitting like a gazelle out there. Chandler Taylor covers a ton of ground, runs that one down. Got him looking. Caleb Treason, a complete Game 3 hitter, and the Baton Rams are heading back to Canton.
Thursday, Baton plays Padua Franciscan in the Division III state semifinals.
Swung on and missed.
Coverage begins Thursday at 3:35 on 1450 The Ticket and on WMOH.com.
From the WMOH Weather Center, showers likely this afternoon with a chance of thunderstorms, high 85. Showers likely with a chance of thunderstorms tonight, low 68. Showers on Tuesday with a chance of thunderstorms, high 82. Showers likely, chance of thunderstorms Tuesday night with a low 70. Showers likely, chance of thunderstorms, hot and humid Wednesday with a high of 88. A heat index of 102. Partly cloudy Wednesday night with a low near 72.
This is Hugh Hewitt. Join me today at 3 on WMOH 1450 The Ticket.
This is a Democrat infighting, and they're going to use these women. Now, everybody else has piled in. So many people on the left are now attacking these women. What happened to Believe All Women? What is taking them so long? They got rid of all of the safeguards that they would need in order to validate or affirm the integrity of a cast ballot. That doesn't make any sense.
The Dana Show with Dana Lash.
Welcome back to the program. Dana Lash with you. We are at the top of this third hour. Happy Monday. Very good to be with you. If you missed anything, you can go download the podcast for the first 2 hours. And don't forget Substack, chapter and verse. A lot of good things up there, including the latest in the war for the soul of the right. And, of course, YouTube and Facebook. How many of you are familiar with HelloFresh? You guys know what HelloFresh is? You know what HelloFresh is, Kane? I do. It is a meal kit. So you order it, and then they deliver it to your door with a recipe thing, and you make the food, right? That sounds like easy, you know, easy to do, easy enough. How am I going to do this? Okay. So HelloFresh, let me just read, because, you know, it's Pride Month, right? So HelloFresh has this promotion, and I'm just going to read it. They said, and it's the Pride thing, it's their Pride statement. They go, quote, "We know that eating isn't always a top priority this month." What? For Pride Month? What? Why? We respect that. But for those of you who are ... prepping ... we have an extensive lineup of high fiber recipes available. Happy Pride. Now, Kane. Kane, what does that say to you? What does that mean? Ron's going to throw it up so you guys can actually read it for yourselves. First off, before I give you any analysis, I want to know what you think of that. What does that mean?
Right. Well, I did look up because they said about the eating thing. I'm like, what? That's a thing? Apparently, in the month of June, for Pride Month, there is a faction of the populace that decides to fast or not eat or do high fiber.
For their health, right?
Okay.
Is it for their health?
Okay, it's for their health.
Or like a religious thing?
Okay, it's a religious thing and their health.
It's not?
No, it's not.
What is it for, Kim?
It is, I guess it's to get monkeypox easier.
How does one get the monkeypox?
I think we're all aware of how that works.
Are we?
I don't know if I have to be detailed.
Do you want me to handle it from here? You're so uncomfortable.
Really
I feel so bad for you right now.
God, I wish you would.
So, you don't want me to? I was going
I
to say,
wish you
if they're talking about backdoor access, y'all.
Oh,
it's about going through the back door. So apparently, HelloFresh, and by the way, do you know what the code is for the discount? No. Bottoms up. No. Juan's showing you right there. Look, if you're watching this simulcast, Juan is showing. That's their actual, that's what they put up. That's not AI. So they're saying if you're going to, if you're going to hooper in the pooper, then, here's a high five diet if you're not fasting. I did not know this was a thing until literally I saw this. I did not know. So I am made of questions I really don't want answers to. So you have a food company that can I just read Robbie Starbucks' tweet? I'm just going to read his right now. He wrote this. Guys, earmuffs for anybody who don't want to hear this. Give me 10 seconds. He writes, quote, ready for one of the most disturbing marketing campaigns you've ever seen? HelloFresh wants you to know that they have food for you to prepare your colon for receiving anal sex during the Pride Month. Yes, it's real. So, ew. I mean, how much are you doing that you have to literally do your whole diet for that month? You know what I mean? I don't think people do that much for a colonoscopy. Okay, this takes the cake. Remember how I was making fun of the actual very real Pride Month sandwiches and the Pride Month mouthwash and the Pride Month Vaseline lip balm? This is literally Pride Month food to get your backside ready for that. Whoop. All month long. I don't know. I don't know what to say, guys. I really don't know what to say here. So, yeah, a lot of people are now canceling their memberships to HelloFresh. Like everyone. You remember the colon blow from SNL? Colon blow you in the morning. Remember that? Yeah. This is like worse. No, people who prepare for colonoscopies don't do this much. And they're talking about all month, for the whole month. We are all completely ooed. I'm not even, I don't know, man. I cannot even believe this. This is what they would do. That is one of the most unappetizing things I've ever heard to sell food. So, and their code again is bottoms up. I'm not making that up. That's literally what it is. They put it on their Instagram page. They had it on their Instagram page, and they captioned it with the comments cooked. That's what they put up. So I don't know. I can't believe that people do this. So, okay. So high fiber recipes. That's the gayest thing I've ever heard. Like real gay, not GHEY. I can't. So it almost feels like they're trying to completely run everyone away. I don't know any gay people who would actually buy into this and think, oh, that's a good marketing strategy. I don't know anybody who is their like main audience for this here, right? Because that sounds very uncomfortable. You're going to celebrate by that? You're going to basically celebrate with a month-long colonoscopy. Really? That's what you would celebrate? This sounds like a medical procedure, is what this sounds like. Ugh. We're all grosser. But it's not as gross as Hunter Biden. Or maybe it is. So Hunter Biden, he's back. Hunter Biden is back. Hunter Biden is trying so hard to rehabilitate himself. And he's been dropping like little jokes and stuff on social media. And there are people who are like, wow, I didn't know you were so funny. And he's really trying to, I guess, ingratiate himself with the woke Reich. So he started going after Israel. And now the woke Reich loves him. Of course they do. And Data Republican, I love this. Data Republican said, hello, Mr. Hunter Biden. You're getting 6-digit likes on every post lately. I don't have any hope to ratio you or through any traditional means. But for the uninitiated, those who are captivated by your fake, humble persona, obviously PR engineered to capture unsuspecting, disaffected Republicans, you're not some humility, witty guy turning over a new leaf. You're the ultimate proof of nepotism, everything that the so-called, quote-unquote, Epstein class is supposed to represent. And just eviscerated him. Writes, you were a board member of USGLC, U.S. Global Leadership Coalition, the most powerful NGO no one's ever heard of. And Data Republican wrote that last year, I documented in several threads how the head of that took credit for ramming through a $90 billion bill for Ukraine in 24. They're the most powerful NGO, a bunch of nonprofit leads, all this other stuff, and that they started pursuing him in 2012 during the Obama years. He's Joe Biden's son. And no, they wanted him to work with them because he was the son of a sitting vice president who was already known to be completely compromised due to corruption. They said, Data Republican writes, she writes, you're not folksy, you're the worst of the worst of the elite. Most of the elite at least got their credentials through Georgetown, George Washington, Harvard, Kennedy. You got yours purely on nepotism. Any photographs you have of yourself at motels are proof that you're so incompetent, you waste all of your money, and you did not come from humble beginnings, right? Goes in through it. I mean, he's posted all of this stuff. He's gone after, so the woke Reich is now really trying to align with him. He said, oh, I love Thomas Massey. Hunter Biden has said that. I'm sure Tom Massey's going to probably go. I wouldn't be surprised to see Tom Massey with hookers and blow and Hunter Biden at a hotel room at some point, coming out on yet another laptop. I never forget all the stuff that Hunter Biden did. But now, because he said he's like trying to be funny on social media, people are going, oh, wow, that Hunter Biden, he's sure is funny. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. I know you've seen some of this, Kane, where he's trying to be like, I'm just Hunter Biden, and be like all folksy. It's just weird.
I actually thought this was a fake account. I didn't think it was him. And there's part of me that still kind of thinks that, just based on what he's been saying. It's almost like somebody playing the Hunter Biden character doing this X account.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I mean, videos of him weighing his crack. And he gets mad. He's like, someone asked him, is that your Coke that's in the cubby at the White House? And he was like, I would never leave my drugs. And he's trying to be like he's trying to be funny and tongue in cheek as a way to get everyone to forget how heinous he was. Never forget that he used the government to go after people who questioned him. They jailed people because he abandoned a laptop. He abandoned his laptop at this computer repair shop. And that just shows you how unbelievably stupid he is, that he would take a computer with all that stuff on it to a repair shop in the first place. And then they went after the store owner. I mean, the most corrupt of the corrupt. They're the reason why China was able to expand further rare earth element control in Africa with the Congo, with Democratic Republic of Congo, because his firm helped facilitate that acquisition of the mine there, the biggest cobalt mine. I mean, remember, he got his dead brother's widow. He banged her and got her hooked on crack. They tossed his gun in a trash can directly across the street from an elementary school. The Secret Service was made to act as his nanny. And everyone's going to be like, oh, he said a couple of funny. The woke Reich is so desperate for somebody, they're even going to take him. I can't even believe this. We have more on the way as we move, and we've got our friend Stephen Yates forthcoming as well, our partners that bring you the program. It is the folks over at Byrna Gun. Byrna, the CL, the compact launcher, is it's small enough to carry concealed, but you can also deter a threat from up to 60 feet away. And it's made in Fort Wayne, Indiana, built by hardworking people dedicated to your safety. And I always carry a firearm. I mean, I have no issue throwing lead down range to protect myself or my loved one, but you want to consider diverse options when you are going maybe perhaps to gun-free zones. You can visit Byrna.com/Dana and see how it works and learn more about it and check out the compact launcher. That's Byrna.com, BYRNA/Dana. Everybody is in wait-and-see mode right now. They're waiting on the ceasefire, waiting on the Strait of Hormuz, and waiting to see what the markets do next. Waiting feels like the responsible thing to do. Feels safe because it seems like things will settle down if you just wait. But here's the problem. Gold's not waiting for you. Gold moves on fear, on instability, and the unknown, and all three are everywhere we look right now. So if you've been wondering whether or not gold should be a part of your portfolio, this is exactly the kind of moment to talk to somebody who actually understands the market. So that's why you need to check out Noble Gold Investments. So what stands out to me about Noble Gold Investments first is the transparency. There's no pressure. There's no scare tactics, just solid information and a team that actually respects your intelligence. That's pretty rare. And that's why I like to work with Colin and his team at Noble Gold. You will too. Don't wait for certainty. That may never come. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com/Dana and download your free investor kit. There's no pressure. There's no obligation. It's just the information. And again, that's noblegoldinvestments.com/Dana.
Larry Elder. CEO Magazine's been around 22 years. Every single year, they rate the best state in which to do business and the worst state in which to do business. Guess which one has finished last every single year of the magazine's existence? That's a rhetorical question. It's called California. Maybe, just maybe, it's time for the voters to stop pulling that lever for the Democratic Party like zombies.
The Larry Elder Show.
Join me weekday evenings at 6 on WMOH 1450 The Ticket.
Start saving this summer at AE Door and Window. All through June, save up to 15% off Provia entry doors and sliders, as well as select Clopay garage doors. Save up to 20% off windows by Pella and Provia. Combine and save for another 5% off your total order and get up to $100 off a next generation LiftMaster opener. All with zero down, zero interest for 2 years. Learn more at aeDoorSales.com.
We sell the best and service the rest. AE.
He's off to the races. No one's going to catch him. Touchdown.
Local business owners, get in on the football excitement and let your message be heard. Join the growing number of businesses supporting high school sports on 1450 The Ticket at very affordable rates. Simply contact the WMOH 1450 The Ticket sales office at 513-863-1111. You are listening, and so are many of your future customers. Let area football fans know that you support high school sports on 1450 The Ticket, and they'll support you.
This is Dana Lash. We'll be right back on WMOH 1450 The Ticket.
Real talent is defined by what people can do, not where they learn to do it. So by stopping at the education section of a resume, you might throw away the perfect hire. You might miss someone who has valuable skills to offer to help your business thrive right now and in the future. Because the truth is this. Skills First Hiring helps you see talent others miss, like more than 70 million stars, skilled through alternative routes. When you let their story unfold, you gain a competitive advantage, because hiring managers who start with skills are 60% more likely to find a successful hire. See the real person, complete. See what others miss. Hire skills first. Learn why it's a competitive advantage at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Anthony Munoz. I didn't make it into the Pro Football Hall of Fame by letting drugs and alcohol affect my ability to play. I brought my A game every time, and that's what you should do when sharing the road. That means never getting behind the wheel under the influence and wearing your seatbelt, because it's always the best defense against a drunk driver. So whether you're driving around town or to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, never let impaired driving take you out of the game.
This message brought to you by the Ohio Department of Public Safety.
This is your ticket to high school football.
Norman makes a move at the 40. Look out. 30. He's going to the end zone. Touchdown. 61 yards. Welcome to Friday Night Lights, Kenyon Norman.
Basketball.
Cunningham bounce pass inside and the bucket is good. Nice dime by Cunningham.
Cunningham, a lot of heart. Big Valentine under that jersey.
And baseball.
Swung on and ripped into left center field. And it is 2-0. Cade Cummins delivers with a 2-out base hit.
WMOH 1450 The Ticket.
From the WMOH Weather Center, this afternoon will bring us showers and a chance of thunderstorms and a high around 85. Showers likely tonight, chance of thunderstorms low 68. Showers and a chance of thunderstorms Tuesday with a high 82. Showers likely, chance of thunderstorms Tuesday night with a low 70. Hot and humid Wednesday, showers likely with a chance of thunderstorms. Your high 88 with a heat index of 102. And partly cloudy Wednesday night with a low 72.
Now, back to Dana Lash on WMOH 1450 The Ticket.
And now, all of the news you would probably miss. It's time for Dana's Quick Five.
So this is the craziest thing. So a woman who's 28 years old says a debilitating migraine, her symptoms are fixed in 15 minutes when she eats this nostalgic candy. Now, Kane notes that it's the mineral content in the candy. And she said that it was, what is the damn candy? Because the article doesn't even mention
it. It's a UK candy, but it's like Fun Dip here, where you actually, it's like the powdered candy.
People magazine, you're garbage. Fire your stupid writing.
You know how the fizzy powder. Well, what's in it is an alkaline, right? So, which is a mineral.
Yeah.
And when you do the mineral, when you take the minerals in during a migraine, you're actually helping and relieving your migraine. It's the same with caffeine, because she talked about enjoying a Coke and something else, a Coca-Cola, and it helps her migraines. It's the caffeine in the Coca-Cola that does it.
Yeah, well, it does. I mean, people will tell you have coffee or like something like that. So we also have a teen was unmasked after an assault on a SoCal Chipotle, or if you're Al Sharpton, Chipotle worker. I'm never going to get over that ever. Surveillance video showed her throwing food in the, oh my gosh, 18 years old. Just beat her ass and get it done with. If this was my daughter, I would have gone in there, grabbed her by the ponytail, and swung her like she was a makeshift ceiling fan. This girl would never, ever act up again. Where's your mom, girl? I mean, it looks ridiculous. And so I guess she was upset with her order, and that's how she decided to act. Very Hunter Biden-esque of her, I'm just saying. Oh, man. $500,000 worth of bourbon was stolen from a Philadelphia warehouse, say officials. An investigation is underway. 10,000 bottles of it were stolen, and it's like over $500-something thousand. It was 1,800 cases of Noble Oak bourbon stolen from a supply store, and what they're saying is a coordinated cargo theft operation. And so every one of the cases contains 6 bottles, so that brings the total number of stolen bottles to 10,800. That also seems like very difficult to steal. That is like a whole, yeah. Apparently now there's 2,000 gallons worth of water used after a Tesla Cybertruck crashes and sets fire along a road out west. So, wait, are we, you can't ask this question, are we measuring how much water we're using now?
For fires?
For fires?
Okay.
I've got a lot of questions about that. Okay. Didn't realize that was the thing. Also, this is interesting. This comes from Red State. Cancer has been winning for too long, and now these GLP-1 studies are offering hope. So there's a number of studies that have come out from the American Society of Clinical Oncology, their annual meeting. They found that GLP-1 drugs may slow or stop cancer from spreading. They tracked over 12,000 patients who had stage 1, 2, or 3 cancer. They have various forms of cancer, and they started taking a GLP-1 or different class of diabetes medication after their diagnosis. And in fact, the ones that were dealing with lung, breast, colon, liver, they were 38 to 50% less likely to see their disease spread to the next stage. That's crazy. That is crazy, because you hear so much bad things about this, right? But then I read another story where it said that it actually helps people who are like addicts, like drug and alcohol addiction. This is wild. So maybe they're getting a bad rap unnecessarily.
Well, I mean, the bad rap, there's some truth to what is the bad rap, but we all know sugar feeds cancer. So if you're going to actually take that portion of it out of the equation, of course cancer is going to suffer, thank goodness.
I wonder if you could just like have something that makes you not crave sugar. If that's like part of your treatment, if you're going through that. But wow. So can you imagine? And they have also had a separate study out of the University of Pennsylvania where they were saying that women between a certain age were less likely. They were studying, again, cancer study, and they said that women who were taking GLP-1 were 30% less likely to develop breast cancer in the first place, between ages 45 and 80. That is unreal. We have a lot more on the way. Steve Yates is going to be joining us because the Rare Earths, Xi Jinping is visiting North Korea. We got a lot of stuff happening. Stick with us. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness weren't just written for history books, they were written for you. It's hard to pursue happiness when pain becomes part of your everyday life. A lot of people just accept it, saying that it's a part of them getting older. It doesn't have to be when you choose Relief Factor. Relief Factor was created to help people address inflammation. That is the cause of daily aches and pains. It's 100% drug-free and research-based. No prescription, no masking symptoms, just real support so you can keep moving forward. It works through multiple metabolic pathways to help support comfort, mobility, and movement. As America celebrates 250 years of independence, maybe it's time to reclaim a little of your own. And to commemorate America's 250, Relief Factor is offering a special patriotic price of $17.76 for the 3-week quick start. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. That's ReliefFactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF for your 3-week quick start for only $17.76. Relief Factor, because freedom just feels better without pain.
1450 WMOH News. I'm Steve Vaughn. Will Hamilton City Council approve adult use cannabis dispensaries in some business districts? A public hearing is scheduled Wednesday to address the issue. The Butler County Coroner's Office is investigating the death of a man found with traumatic injuries on the 400 block of South 12th Street Friday. 4 Westchester police officers remain on paid leave, while Ohio BCI and the Butler County Prosecutor's Office look into the shooting death of 39-year-old Lorenzo Miller. Body camera footage shows Miller was holding a knife to a woman's neck when he was shot in an apartment. He had a long and violent criminal history. A propane leak was quickly brought under control by St. Clair Township firefighters Sunday. Some homes were evacuated on the 3100 block of Fear Not Mills Road. 38-year-old Eric Holm of Norwood has died of injuries suffered in a paragliding accident near West Harrison, Indiana, last week. I'm Steve Vaughn.
This report is sponsored by Compassion International. It's not too late. There are thousands of kids waiting over a year for a sponsor. End their wait today. Sponsor a child with compassion. Text radio to 83393.
High school tournament baseball. Installed by AE Door and Window.
Into the outfield for a base hit. Derek Ogden continues his hot hitting like a gazelle out there. Chandler Taylor covers a ton of ground, runs that one down. Got him looking. Caleb Treason, a complete game 3 hitter, and the Baton Rams are heading back to Canton.
Thursday, Baton plays Padua Franciscan in the Division III state semifinals.
Swung on and missed.
Coverage begins Thursday at 3:35 on 1450 The Ticket and on WMOH.com.
Looking for a local community-oriented place to hang out, family-friendly, and a great place to bring your pet? Municipal Brew Works is open 7 days a week, and they have a huge patio area to soak up the sun and enjoy your favorite adult beverages. Join Municipal Brew Works for their big 10th anniversary party the weekend of June 12th through the 14th, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Drink specials galore, live music, and lots of food truck dining options. Municipal Brew Works in the former Hamilton City Building in downtown Hamilton. See you for the big 10th anniversary weekend.
Mark your calendar for June 13th through the 21st for the Friendship Flea Market. The Friendship Flea Market is very unique with nearly 500 vendor spaces selling a wide variety of new, used, primitives, and specialty foods. Bring the whole family. Roads are blacktopped and are stroller and wheelchair accessible. Admissions free, parking $3, and camping is available. Located in Friendship, Indiana on State Road 62, just a mile east of town. Call 812-667-5645 or visit friendshipfleamarket.com.
Start saving this summer at AE Door and Window. All through June, save up to 15% off Provia entry doors and sliders, as well as select Clopay garage doors. Save up to 20% off windows by Pella and Provia. Combine and save for another 5% off your total order and get up to $100 off a next generation LiftMaster opener. All with 0 down, 0 interest for 2 years. Learn more at aeDoorsales.com.
We sell the best and service the rest. AE.
This is
is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
The New York Knicks took Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Karl Anthony Towns was the key for the game for New York. Karl Anthony had 18 points and 12 rebounds. The most important thing Cat did in Game 1 was be physical with Victor Wembanyama on the defensive end. If the Knicks continue to get a performance like they did in Game 1 from Karl Anthony Towns, the Knicks will win this series. I'm Chris Black.
Yo, it's Jay Uso from WWE, and I'm Jimmy Uso. Chumba Casino and WWE are hyped for the biggest event of the summer, SummerSlam. I know, I can't wait. There's nothing better to do while we're waiting than playing Chumba Casino. Sign up today, and you could win a VIP experience with Chumba Casino and WWE for SummerSlam. So what are you waiting for? Play Chumba Casino and enter for your chance to win. Let's Chumba. Yeah.
Sponsored by VGW Group. No purchase necessary. See terms at ChumbaCasino.com. Must be over 21 and present in a state where it's legal to play.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
From the WMOH Weather Center, showers likely this afternoon with a chance of thunderstorms, high 85. Showers likely with a chance of thunderstorms tonight, low 68. Showers on Tuesday with a chance of thunderstorms, high 82. Showers likely, chance of thunderstorms Tuesday night with a low 70. Showers likely, chance of thunderstorms, hot and humid Wednesday with a high of 88. A heat index of 102. Partly cloudy Wednesday night with a low near 72.
This is Hugh Hewitt. Join me today at 3 on WMOH 1450 The Ticket.
Brighten up your timely news consumption with the Dana Show podcast, where every update comes with a little dash of not so serious on YouTube, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to the program. Dana Lash with you. We're at the bottom of this third hour, and you can listen coast to coast, as you all know, or watch the simulcast, YouTube, Facebook, all that good stuff. Joining us now, our very good friend, Mr. Stephen Yates, at Steve Yates on X. And you know he has served in not one, but two presidential administrations. He's also a senior research fellow at the Heritage Foundation, and he is an expert on all things China. So China probably hates him. And he also gave testimony about fentanyl recently, which was very powerful, my friend. By the way, your words were so incredibly powerful, and I hope our lawmakers really took that to heart. So welcome back. Good to see you, and thanks for joining us. I wanted to ask you, getting into some of this stuff, because Xi Jinping, we made mention of this earlier, he's making a big state visit to North Korea. Now, just really signifying the closeness between their attack dog and the person who holds the reins. I kind of wanted to get your thoughts on this, because what do two baddies hope to accomplish? What are these two bad guys going to talk about during this state visit?
Well, some of it is performative and rhetorical, but those things kind of matter. And what I mean by that is Xi Jinping is going over there to North Korea, and they're talking about the cooperation North Korea has had with Russia in the war against Ukraine. And they talk about, North Korea has a nuclear program that is still in existence and moving ahead. China has the world's most rapidly developing nuclear infrastructure, weapons and civilian. But basically, rhetorically, they're talking about this China, Russia, North Korea kind of confab, and people can laugh it off to a degree. Little rocket man talking big, and Xi Jinping coming over to talk to his one ally in the world, but they are up to a lot of no good in the world, and whether it comes to missiles or other kinds of things, they're disruptive. And I hope the president's watching this, because there's an awful lot that was said about the summit between President Trump and Xi Jinping of the Communist Party of China, but China hasn't really done very much to be a problem solver in the echo of that. And I think that needs to matter more.
I was reading The Economist, which I don't normally read, but they had a very compelling headline because they were discussing China and Russia are both kind of battling it out to see who has the most influence over North Korea. And that struck me as odd, because I didn't even think of Russia being even competitive against China in terms of influencing North Korea.
Well, there is definitely some degree of competition. I think The Economist overdoes it from time to time. They spend a lot of time in their very liberal academic environs, and I don't. If the great prize of the world is North Korea, then that sucks to be in that world. And so they definitely have a degree of assistance that they give North Korea. North Korea wouldn't exist today as an economy without access to China. Their labor crosses over. I mean, in a prison state like North Korea is, if you're illegally migrating out to go to China and work and come back, the state has to know about it. You have to be allowed to do that in some degree. And then the North Koreans that went along with the Russians to the front lines in the Ukraine exercise, I mean, they're getting real life war experience. And so they're getting something out of it. They might even be getting money out of it from Russia, for all we know. And then there's the munitions sales, where some of the Chinese munitions might be laundered through North Korea and into Russia. I don't imagine it's at scale. But there's definitely more to it than just sort of getting together and talking. At the same time, what China and Russia are doing, whether it's been enabling Iran to bust sanctions in the past, or it's fueling the Russian war machine against Ukraine, that what they're doing together is dwarfing whatever North Korea's contribution could be.
Yeah, we're talking with our very good friend Stephen Yates. You can find him on X at Steve Yates. With that, too, this story of the rare earth exports to Japan. So Japan pushes back on CCP talking points, and the communist China responds by dropping these. I mean, companies have been kind of scrambling to figure out what to do. By 80%. That is crazy. So how is Japan? I mean, is that significant enough to kind of rock Japan national security wise, or how would you frame that for us?
Well, it's a second shock to Japan when it comes to critical minerals and rare earths. This category of things that aren't that rare, but they're very vital to some of the high-tech supply chains that we all depend on for military and national security, but also our smart way of life. And it was around the 2010, 2011 timeframe when China first did this to Japan. Japan made some efforts to diversify and insulate against another shock, but obviously the whole world's gone punch drunk on dependence on China with supply chains, and it's only been COVID that mildly sobered people up, but we really haven't adjusted as much as we should. We have done a lot of this damage to ourselves and having lunatic policies to get in the way of mining and refining things in our own country and among our allies. We've had willful blindness when it comes to China not playing by the rules. There's no such thing as free markets and free exchange with unfree countries like China. They don't buy capital at market rates. They pervert market rates. They dump goods. They don't sell them at international market set prices. And so Japan is having a second shot at adjusting to this. Now, on balance, I consider this a net plus because I want the whole world to sober up to what it means to be like 80 to 90% dependent on China for things that are vital. That just is insane in 2026. You can like China, you can have all the cheap widgets you want to play with made in China if you want. I don't, but other people might want that. But when it comes to something that's vital to your economy and your national security, it's really past time to sober up. So they're planning to play this game. It's not about economics. It's about using leverage. I don't think it's going to work against Takaichi's Japan. I think that they have a sense of self-worth and they are a responsible stakeholder. Maybe it accelerates investment in our hemisphere, even outside of the U.S., to be able to get to this. The more we have center-right governments in Latin America, the more market access we should have to labor and resources and processing in our hemisphere that would be much, much better and more reliable than what we've got with China.
It really does feel like that. It feels sort of, and maybe I'm reading this incorrectly just because of how the news reports things or how often it reappears in the news, but it really does feel like the pressure on Japan has really increased after the election of the new prime minister. And I was also reading, like, you know, have all these religious temples that are being targeted, and they've had like 20-something fires. There's a lot happening to try to, I feel, if I'm just borrowing tinfoil from Kane, it seems like there are a lot of forces that are trying to destabilize that major U.S. ally because they are a considerable threat to, you know, Chinese aggression, especially any kind of expansion towards Taiwan.
Well, it's not imagining. The first thing about communist parties, and we have to remind people that the communists are real. The Communist Party of China is still communist. People want to say, "Oh no, it's more free market than America is," and for that I just say, that's horse hockey, whatever. But it is real, and in those circumstances, the most toxic examples in the world for the Communist Party of China are Taiwan and Japan. And not for nothing, they are related to each other. I mean, Taiwan was 50 years a colony of Japan, and a lot of reasons why Taiwan became an Asian tiger and had a successful infrastructure on which to build a free enterprise juggernaut after not being so free enterprise under martial law was because of the infrastructure that Japan helped build. And so China can't abide the idea of a major economy and now a normal nation with real defense capability, with advanced technology and an alliance with the United States, basically abiding by the rules of the road in the world. China wants to pretend as if they're the one upholding the quote-unquote rules-based international order as long as it's their rule. Right. Now, I can be just as selfish as an American saying I'm for it as long as it's our rules, but the difference is we raise everyone else's boat when we're making the rules. We invest in other people, including the frickin' ungrateful Chinese that we showered with trillions of dollars of investment and opportunity, and so did Japan. But China is very much engaged in political warfare against Japan, suggesting it could remilitarize and trying to bring back the ghosts of World War II. And the world has not been forceful enough back at China, where they have an economic nuclear
Philippines or even all the way to South America. It's been China that's been the aggressor, but they're trying to point the finger at Japan.
Everyone in America that has been subjected to the hypocrisy of the global left would know that the first thing they do is project their evils on us. And so that's what they're doing when it's the CCP versus Japan. And it's the CCP that's militarizing. And I urge anyone to take a look at this cool cat who is the defense minister of Japan. Number one, he might be a future prime minister. You might want to get to know him now. But he also looks like a freaking movie star. He's got a complete killer look. He is right out of central casting to be a defense minister. And that's probably also what scares the shorts off of the Chinese.
There are a million memes of this guy. Oh, you're right. He's not a bad-looking guy. I thought he would be some dork. He's, the Minister of Defense. There are a million memes of him. So he seems he's pretty well liked by the Japanese there.
And he has the added virtue of being correct.
So they're really getting, it's almost like they have an anime series of government leaders. Like you got the All-Stars, right? It's like I'm watching Stardust Crusaders, JoJo style, as their government. That's pretty amazing. He's one to watch. Our very good friend at Steve Yates, always love talking with you and you providing the expert context for all of this. Thank you, my friend. God bless you. And wonderful testimony. We're going to make sure to share it as well on our newsletter. God bless you, my friend.
Much appreciated, Dana. Take care.
You too. We have more to come, folks, as we move towards the conclusion of this third hour, and we're capitalists. We're not like the CCP, so we got a hat tip to the people who make all of this possible, and that's Relief Factor. This is our partner here. Relief Factor is it's a great product. My husband uses it, and it works. He can tell the difference. So you have to think about this. The inflammation, it doesn't matter what decade you're in. I mean, depending on if you have sports injuries, or you're recovering maybe from surgery, or whatever it is. Maybe it's old age, whatever. This is the thing that quietly chips away at your freedom of mobility. It affects how you move, how you work, and how you just live. Relief Factor is a 100% drug-free, research-based formula designed entirely to fight inflammation. That's the root cause of most of your pain. And this is not a temporary fix, right? This works from the inside out to support your body's natural response to pain so that you can get back to walking comfortably, staying flexible, staying active, living life without constantly being in discomfort. And this is the perfect time, by the way, we're celebrating 250 years of American independence. Celebrate your own freedom from pain. They have their special patriotic pricing. The 3-week quick start, normally $19.95, is now $17.76 to commemorate our country's, our republic's birthday. Relief Factor has their price, $17.76 for the 3-week quick start. You can join millions of customers and celebrate freedom from pain. Visit relieffactor.com or call 800-4-RELIEF to get that special 3-week quick start at the price of $17.76. Relieffactor.com, 800-4-RELIEF.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter.
So, you know, I've been talking about human supplements for years, and not just because they make the #1 best-selling Super Beats, but because when it comes to cardiovascular health, they really stay ahead of the science. And if you're anything like me, you're focused on health. But cholesterol, for a lot of folks, can feel confusing. So this is what I've read. About 80% of your body's cholesterol is actually produced internally, and it plays a key role in things like cellular health, hormone production. So this is why Human created Cholesterol Health Daily. It's a very simple 2-capsule-a-day routine, all designed to support your cholesterol from multiple angles. It's made with plant-based, clinically studied ingredients, including aged black garlic to support your good HDL cholesterol without the garlic taste, plus patented Italian citrus bergamot for healthy triglycerides and lipid metabolism. It's about keeping things simple but effective, and it fits right into your daily routine. Right now, for a limited time, you can save $5 on Human Cholesterol Daily at Sam's Club. You just head to your local Sam's Club and do more to support your cholesterol health with the Science First brand that you know I trust. But the $5 savings for a limited time only. This is Dana Lash. We'll be right back on WMOH 1450, The Ticket.
Hi, it's Hugh Hewitt on the next Hugh Hewitt Show. Brad Thorne's got his brand new thriller out. I'll be talking with him, Admiral Mark Montgomery, on whether or not we can get Project Freedom going again. And all the news of the weekend. And there will be a lot of news, especially out of Maine as Graham Plattner struggles to make it a Tuesday. Primary day in Maine. I'll cover all that and more on the next Hugh Hewitt Show.
He keeps his finger on the pulse in D.C. Hugh Hewitt.
Join me today at 3 on WMOH 1450, The Ticket. Keep that dial to the right.
Get classroom ready in under 2 years at Cincinnati State. Early childhood education is a high-demand field, and this major helps you step into it quickly. In just 4 semesters in tandem with coursework, you'll complete over 300 hours of hands-on experience through practicum and student teaching in real classrooms. These placements build confidence, connect you with local employers, and often lead directly to job offers. Enroll today. Visit cincinnati-state.edu.
At Big B, we know it's more than a bagel. It's love at first bite. Cue the fireworks. Big B makes it better. Whew. At Big B, we know it's more than a matcha latte. It's your midday MVP. You got this. Big B makes it better.
Your local Big B Coffee, 2874 Joseph Drive, right off of Princeton Road near Bridgewater Falls in Fairfield Township.
I was running until I wasn't. My hospital stay would have cost nearly $48,000, even with insurance. But with VA, I'll pay $0. And VA is the best, most affordable healthcare in America for veterans like me. Knowing that my family is waiting at home and a surprise medical bill isn't, that's good for my heart. My service was then, my benefits are now. Get what you earned. Visit choose.va.gov.
Not all veterans are eligible for the type or amount of benefits mentioned here.
High school tournament baseball. Installed by AE Door and Window.
Into the outfield for a base hit. Derek Ogden continues his hot hitting like a gazelle out there. Chandler Taylor covers a ton of ground, runs that one down. Got him looking. Caleb Treason, a complete game 3 hitter, and the Baton Rams are heading back to Canton.
Thursday, Baton plays Padua Franciscan in the Division III state semifinals.
Swung on and missed.
Coverage begins Thursday at 3:35 on 1450 The Ticket and on WMOH.com.
From the WMOH Weather Center, this afternoon will bring us showers and a chance of thunderstorms and a high around 85. Showers likely tonight, chance of thunderstorms low 68. Showers and a chance of thunderstorms Tuesday with a high 82. Showers likely, chance of thunderstorms Tuesday night with a low 70. Hot and humid Wednesday, showers likely with a chance of thunderstorms. Your high 88 with a heat index of 102. And partly cloudy Wednesday night with a low 72.
Now, back to Dana Lash on WMOH 1450 The Ticket.
Subscribe to the Dana Show podcast, because who says you can't make fun of people while staying informed on your own personal time? Subscribe on YouTube, Apple, or wherever you get your podcast.
Welcome back to the program. And if you missed anything, don't forget you can always go back, download the podcast, and catch up. You can also find us over at Substack, Chapter and Verse. A lot of good stuff that goes out regularly. And, of course, YouTube, Facebook, all of that. That story, the Henry Novak story, more and more information continues to come out about this, and it is crazy. Like, we're going to dive into it more deeply tomorrow, because there's additional new videos. Apparently this guy, this Vikram Digwa guy, was so problematic. Now you can see why he was well known. There's tons of videos of him, like, threatening people with blades, with his blade. At some point, you know, you would think that maybe perhaps the family would have the sense to act, but they didn't even do that. And then it came out 2 days after he had stabbed Henry Novak to death. The Hampshire police apparently secretly recorded Vikram Digwa in the police van speaking Punjabi to his brother, and Digwa admitted to stabbing him. They discussed falsely claiming that it was self-defense. They made zero mention of any kind of racial abuse, nothing. And apparently the Hampshire police had the video, and they knew Digwa was lying. They had the evidence that he stabbed him, that he was fabricating a self-defense, and that it had nothing to do with race. And they tried to smear Henry Novak as the aggressor, and they had the evidence. Literally 3 days after Novak's death, this is what their statement read. It said, quote, "It was reported 2 men had been assaulted by an unknown man, and Henry Novak was apparently the unknown man." They literally flipped the script and blamed the victim because the assailant was brown. And then during the trial, they were trying to apparently issue a statement, and this was from GBTV. They were trying to issue they had issued a statement saying that they wanted the public to stop talking about it online. Stop, you've heard this phrase, stop circulating misinformation. But it wasn't misinformation. I mean, so the family had to fight the police once and then a second time. The family complained, the statement changed. Then the police told the family that their next update would affirm that Henry was the initial aggressor. So the family had to fight Henry Novak. He was victimized twice by Vikram Digwa, who murdered him, and then the second time by the police, who tried to defend his murderer because of his skin color. This goes beyond incompetence. This has to do with a police force that is so corrupt they cannot be trusted with public safety. I don't know how they're not in the streets in that neighborhood. I don't know how they're not in the street. There's no way. I would not at all give police any at all authority in that area. This is what happens when you do not have justice. Then you're going to have chaos, and they're setting it up. This had nothing. This goes beyond incompetency. This is outright evil. Today in Stupidity came.
All right. Well, it's the leftist ideology that's got us here, right? So speaking of which, cut 23. This is the embodiment of the leftist ideology. Listen to this, a Graham Plattner supporter.
Oh, boy.
Totem Pope tattoo, the Nazi tattoo. How do you kind of... Somebody said that they talked to somebody who had seen one of those or wore one of those, and it was silver, and it didn't even occur to him that it was the same thing. I think people are making as much of it as they
He's
can.
admitted he knew what it was. Stop it.
Yeah, he admitted like multiple times, and also in writing.
That's not all that she had to say, but there was a lot that she thinks that remember when they dragged Hegseth about his Christian tattoo?
Yeah.
And they asked her about that one, and
The
she's
Iron
like,
Cross.
no, that's a deal breaker for me.
Unbelievable. Folks, that does it for us today. Make sure you go find us on Substack, YouTube, Facebook, like, and subscribe. Get the podcast. I will be back behind the mic with you tomorrow. God bless.
1450 The Ticket.
My friend Ed Larkin, the good folks at Rose Automotive, have a big announcement to make. They are now the proud owners of Larkin Cobb Chevrolet Buick GMC in Eaton, Ohio. Larkin Cobb can handle all your Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC needs. Go see my friends at 500 East Main Street in downtown Eaton, a short drive from Dayton, Cincinnati, and Richmond, Indiana. My friends from Rose Automotive are thrilled to be serving the Eaton market and can't wait to help you into your next Chevrolet, Buick, or GMC. Larkin Cobb, drive the extra 20 to save plenty.
Have you recently opened a brand new business and want to get the word out that you're open? Have an existing business and looking to increase profitability? Or are you looking to staff your new or existing business with employees? This is where WMOH Radio can be of help to you. Advertise your business to reach WMOH Radio's local and loyal listeners with your message that your business is open and ready to serve or looking for workers. Give us a call, 513-863-1111, and let us put the power of locally owned and operated 1450 WMOH Radio go to work for you.
This is your ticket to Miami University Sports. WMOH, Hamilton, Fairfield, Westchester, Cincinnati. 1450 The Ticket.
Breaking news at Town Hall Agnew in Washington. The Los Angeles mayor's race tightening up as vote counting continues days after Election Day.
Community advocate Spencer Pratt is losing ground in the Los Angeles mayor primary after leading for nearly 5 days following Election Day. City Council member Nithya Raman has now moved ahead of Pratt in the race for a spot in the general election. However, with thousands of ballots still left to count, the contest remains too close to call. The latest results are renewing criticism of California's election system, where lengthy ballot counts and jungle primaries can lead voters with two candidates from the same political party. Willie Nelson, Los Angeles.
New study is renewing debate over whether work requirements can reduce poverty among Americans receiving government benefits. Here's correspondent Ken Lorman.
Research by Casey Mulligan, an economist with the Department of Health and Human Services, finds adding work requirements to Medicaid could lift between 1.6 and nearly 3 million people out of poverty. The study says families could see incomes rise by more than $12,000 as more recipients enter the workforce. Supporters argue work rules encourage self-sufficiency and stronger labor participation. Ken Lorman.
The Committee to Unleash Prosperity has been arguing for time that acquiring work for welfare benefits like Medicaid can help to cut poverty, arguing those rules move able-bodied adults into jobs. Detailed security plan in place as President Trump is scheduled to attend Game 3 of the NBA Finals tonight in New York.
Starting at 4 p.m., no one will be allowed inside the secured area unless they have a ticket to the game, a train ticket, they are going to a business inside the area, they have credentials, or they have some other authorized reason to.
That is NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch. More on these stories at townhall.com.
There's a moment nobody talks about with weight loss. It's the moment it stops working. The diet that worked before doesn't. Eating less stops moving the scale. That's not random. When your body's under stress, it slows your metabolism. That's why quick fixes eventually fail. At PhD Weight Loss, they focus on restoring your metabolism. And right now, when you call and mention Mike G, you'll get 2 free weeks and they'll pay for the cost of your food. Call 864-644-1900. That's 864-644-1900 or visit myphdweightloss.com.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by right now. They'll tell you if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-550-7800. That's 800-550-7800. Call now to find out how much your case could be worth.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states. Not available in California.
1450 WMOH News. I'm Steve Vaughn. Ohio BCI and the Butler County Prosecutor's Office continue their investigation of a deadly police-involved shooting Thursday night. 39-year-old Lorenzo Miller was shot by Westchester police while he held a knife to a 31-year-old woman, according to body camera footage. Miller had a long and violent criminal record. Gas prices continue to tumble in greater Cincinnati. Gas Buddy says regular unleaded is averaging $3.80 a gallon, down 31 cents from last week's average. Prices have dropped 84 cents over the past month. Hamilton City Council will hold a public hearing during Wednesday's meeting on a proposal which would allow cannabis dispensaries in some limited business districts. Kings High School wins the Division II State Softball Championship with a 12-4 win over Westerville Central. And Lakota West runner Sonia Taylor won the state title in the girls' 400-meter at the Ohio High School track meet. I'm Steve Vaughn.
High School Tournament Baseball, installed by AE Door and Window.
Into the outfield for a base hit. Derek Ogden continues his hot hitting like a gazelle out there. Chandler Taylor covers a ton of ground, runs that one down. Got him looking. Caleb Treason, a complete game 3 hitter, and the Baton Rams are heading back to Canton.
Thursday, Baton plays Padua Franciscan in the Division III state semifinals.
Swung on and missed.
Coverage begins Thursday at 3:35 on 1450 The Ticket. And on WMOH.com.
Looking for a fun, rustic place to hang out with a classic honky-tonk feel to it? You have found it at the Bearded Saddle Saloon. Under new ownership, the Bearded Saddle Saloon features homemade specials for lunch and dinner, plus line dancing on Wednesdays, open mic Thursdays, DJ and karaoke on Fridays, live music on Saturdays, and Sundays, delicious breakfast. The Bearded Saddle Saloon is on 2 acres with beer garden and outdoor picnic area on State Route 73 at US Route 127, just minutes east of Miami University in Oxford. Your entertainment destination, it's the Bearded Saddle Saloon.
Southbound 75 at Paddock Road, a disabled vehicle now cleared out from that contraflow lane, but there's still a 15-minute delay back from Shepherd Lane. Northbound 71 in Ohio, accident on the entrance ramp from 275. I'm Eddie Zellick with traffic.
Sponsored by Stand Up to Cancer.
Joe Buck and John Smoltz welcoming you back to the City Center Convenience Mart.
Uh-oh.
She's looking at the cigarettes, but she just grabs the gum off the counter. Stand Up to Cancer and Rally want you to reduce your risk for cancer. Go to takeahealthystand.org.
Showers and thunderstorms likely before 5 p.m. Tonight, chance of showers and thunderstorms mainly before midnight, low 69. Tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms with a high near 83. Catch High School Tournament Baseball Thursday, the state semifinals, Baden versus Padua Franciscan. It's High School Game Day installed by AE Door and Window, Thursday at 3:35 on 1450 The Ticket.
Division and distrust, clarity matters more than ever. This is where common sense meets conviction. This is the Hugh Hewitt Show.
Someday. Morning glory and evening grace, America. I'm Hugh Hewitt. Back in Studio North, way up in Maine. And I'm back because I took the fetching Mrs. Hewitt for her birthday yesterday to Vermont. Now, you might say, that's a pretty nice birthday present. You have no idea. To get to Vermont from Maine is a lot harder than you might think. You basically have to drive down all the way to New Hampshire, turn right for 45 minutes to an hour, and then turn right again and head up into Vermont. You know, Vermont only has 633,000 people. And so it's like Montana and North Dakota, and Rhode Island, these little states with 2 senators. That's fine. Framers intended it that way. They can have Bernie Sanders and whoever the other guy is. It's not Patrick Leahy anymore, but it's another lefty socialist. It's so progressive, they put the P into progressive. But, lovely place, beautiful. Fetching Mrs. Hewitt likes to go up and down hill and trail and mountain. And so that's what we did. And we did it in something of a light rain, but it was a great, great trip. and a happy birthday to the fetching Mrs. Hewitt. During that time, on kind of a news blackout, but I get back to where there's wireless last night, and I catch up on events. And the events in a nutshell are this. There was a peace treaty arranged by Donald Trump, a ceasefire between Hezbollah and Israel that paralleled the ceasefire between the United States and Israel and Iran. And the deal was Hezbollah don't hit Israel, and Israel will not hit Beirut, which is where Hezbollah headquarters are. That was the deal. Yesterday, Hezbollah broke the deal, and they fired into Israel, the northern part of Israel, the Galilee, and Israel responded by striking the Beirut neighborhoods where Hezbollah's headquarters are located. So Hezbollah broke the ceasefire, and Israel responded. Then Iran decided that, well, you know what? We're going to get in on this, and we're going to prove they want to link these two deals together because Hezbollah is just their cat's paw. And they want to save Hezbollah, which is on the ropes. So they said, we're going to link these two, and we're going to strike Israel. Not a good idea. So Iran fired off at least 10 ballistic missiles at Iran. Now, they didn't do any damage, didn't kill anyone, but a ballistic missile is a ballistic missile. And Israel cannot accept that. Now, President Trump they had a conversation with Bibi Netanyahu and President Trump. I'm not sure what was said. We don't know what the president asked, or if it's good cop, bad cop, or if it's all a ruse, or if it's all a plan. But after a bit of delay, Israel smashed up a few targets in Iran, including one ballistic missiles factory and a couple of sites in Tehran about which at this hour there are many questions. There are questions about whether or not Israel eliminated General Vahidi. Now, if you're a Steelers fan, you might think, I thought the Ayatollah's gay son was running Iran now. Khomeini 2.0. And that's what they had the cardboard cut out of the gay Ayatollah. But not a lot of people believe he's alive, and some people do and some people don't. I don't know. I don't have clearances. But a lot of people think Vahidi basically took everything over, and the IRGC is running the country to the extent anyone is. Well, the hills are alive with the sound of music, and the web is alive with the sound of rumors that Vahidi has gone to meet his maker and is cooled to room temperature. I don't know, and you don't know, but I'll keep you posted throughout the show. I doubt Senator Cotton will tell us. He's coming up a little bit later. I doubt Admiral Montgomery knows. Senator Cotton may or may not know. He may not know, but he won't tell us unless it's been released. But we have our eye on breaking news, and we'll bring it to you as it happens. Let me tell you as well, my friend Gallagher, with whom I'm going to do an event in Sarasota, I believe on July 21st. He's going to be insufferable. He raised enough money to send 1,000 kids to Angel Tree Camp. And I actually applaud Mike for that. He really has. He's passionate, as I am, about these children whose parents are incarcerated. But I went over and looked at my website, HughHewitt.com, and they still have the banner up. So if you haven't given yet, head over there and make a last-ditch gift. Maybe I can catch Mike. All right, he's probably taking the week off and is smoking a cigar somewhere, feeling pretty good about his effort. And good on him. I think it's great that he did that. But if you forgot to send a kid to camp, today is the day to do it. HughHewitt.com. Make a difference in the lives of prisoners' children. The banner is still there. You can still use it. President Trump. Now, I interview the president a lot, and I know how to do it. Kristen Welker has interviewed him 3 or 4 times, and she's not as good as she ought to be because she gets into fights with him. And she purposely brings up stuff like the 2020 election, which is going to be doomed to be an endless loop. And the president got mad and he left. Here's the part where it all goes to hell. Cut number 11.
It was a dirty election.
Mr.
And it's
President,
happening again right now in
never
California.
Presented evidence
It's happening
that the
right now in
election
California.
was rigged.
Right now, look at what's happening in California.
Where's the evidence to that?
It's
The
4
Republicans
days.
are doing well in
California, no, they're not. They're dropping fast because it's a rigged election. Let me tell you, it's 4 days, and they aren't even close to coming up with it.
That's how they count
You know
the
why
votes
they're
in
doing that?
California.
Because they're cheating on the election.
Do you have evidence to support
All I have
that?
to do is look. All I have to do is
that's
look.
not
And I
evidence.
listen. And I listen to people. And let's see what happens.
But, sir, that's not evidence.
Do you think it's appropriate?
That's how they
that
count the votes in
Do you
California.
think it's appropriate that they have an election and 5 days later they're nowhere close to picking a
State
winner?
and local officials acknowledge they are slow. They're urging.
No, they're crooked.
They're urging
They're
the
crooked.
votes to be counted quickly. That's how they vote
They're
in
crooked,
California.
just like you're crooked. Your press is crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked.
To be fair, I'm not crooked, but let's
Really?
Let's
Well, you play
continue.
right into their hands. Then.
Let's continue.
You're either crooked or you're stupid. You play
continue.
right into their hands with this crap. You know that these elections are rigged. Your network knows that they're rigged. You know that I won an election in a landslide, and I got 94% bad press.
But, Mr. President,
you know why I
you've
got
never
that?
presented
Because you have no
evidence.
credibility.
But you've never presented evidence that it was rigged. Let's keep talking about. I want to talk about Todd.
You
Blanche.
have more evidence. There's more evidence than ever presented.
Let's talk
Your
about
elections
you
in
went
this
to
country,
court.
we're like a third world country.
But, sir,
your elections are crooked, and you're crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked,
Mr.
and so
President-
is ABC and CBS and CNN.
But, Mr. President-
You're one-sided crooked networks. All right, let's call it quits because I've had enough. Thank you, darling. Have a good time.
Mr. President, let's please. I traveled all the way to Wisconsin.
I've sat in the
traveled
rain with
all.
you.
I know. I
I've sat in
traveled
the rain
all the
with
way
you
to
for an hour,
Wisconsin.
on and off in the rain, and I've given you enough time. You ought to straighten out your press because you know what?
Mr.
A
President,
country can never be
We
great
traveled
with a
all-
dishonest
Listen,
press.
we
Come on, let's
traveled
go.
all the way to Wisconsin for this interview.
You know, don't argue with this. This, by the way, would apply if I'm sitting down with President Obama or President Biden or President Clinton. It applied when I talked to Hillary Clinton on this program. It applied when I talked to Secretary Kerry on this program. Whenever I have a Democrat, I do not argue with their assertions. Their assertions can be checked later by people who are interested because Dwayne will put up the transcript. Argumentative is an objection that is often accepted in court because argumentation is not actually seeking of facts. Now, you've got the President of the United States, one of the most important people in the world, if not the most important person in the world. And Kristen's a professional. She knows what she's doing. But she has producers, and there's producers are in her ear. And it's almost reflexive for Legacy Press to tell the president that the election of 2020 wasn't rigged. The president and I have reached an understanding. He knows I think it's not rigged, and he knows I know. He knows what I know, what I think. And he says, you and I don't agree. And we leave it at that. I don't need him to admit that I'm right. People know that he has his position. There's just no need to argue with the president. You could be talking about the embargo. How long will it go? What if ships are hit? Are you confident in the defenses that we have? What about the shipbuilding plan that came out that takes us down to 9 carriers? Are you happy with that? There's so many important questions that talking about the 2020 election is not on my list. It's just not on my list. And when you've got the President of the United States
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that was not your fault, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions for free. Call now and find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-830-5050. I'm here with spokesman John Wolf. So, John, tell everyone listening who should call right now.
Well, Maria, first off, thank you for having me here. It's always nice to answer the listeners' questions. Now, as far as who should call in, Anyone who's been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, give us a call right now. 800-830-5050. You'll find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth.
Thanks, John. You heard it, folks. Take advantage of this opportunity and call now. 800-830-5050.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states. Not available in California.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Hi, this is Rhett Rasmussen of BestHotGrill.com. We make the amazing Solaire infrared gas grills that are built to last and will consistently deliver better than restaurant grilled food. The Solaire infrared burner heats up to 1,000 degrees in just 3 minutes, even in the dead of winter. The high heat locks in the juices and flavor and grills food faster. Learn more about these fantastic USA-made grills at BestHotGrill.com. Solaire hot, fast grills at BestHotGrill.com.
High school tournament baseball, installed by AE Door and Window.
And the Baden Rams are heading back to Canton.
Thursday, Baden plays Padua Franciscan in the Division III state semifinals. Coverage begins Thursday at 3:35 on 1450 The Ticket.
Start saving this summer at AE Door and Window. All through June, save up to 15% off Provia entry doors and sliders, as well as select Clopay garage doors. Save up to 20% off windows by Pella and Provia. Combine and save for another 5% off your total order and get up to $100 off a next generation LiftMaster opener. All with zero down, zero interest for 2 years. Learn more at aeDoorSales.com.
We sell the best and service the rest. AE.
Hey, this is Brant, along with producer Sherry, who had a major health issue, including surgery recently, and MediShare was awesome.
They were awesome beginning to end, Brant. They were knowledgeable. They were reassuring. They prayed for me on the phone. All the bills were handled beautifully.
That is why we keep telling people about MediShare. Sorry to interrupt, but you can save a lot and like it a lot more as a way to handle your medical bills with peace of mind. Find out more. Call 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE.
This is Dana Lash. Join me tomorrow at noon on WMOH 1450 The Ticket.
Southbound 71, there is an accident between Western Road and Fields Erdel. Left lane blocked off. A 5-minute delay to get through there. Southbound 75 after Mitchell, it's an accident blocking the left lane. And Clovernook Avenue, accident at Adams Road. I'm Eddie Zellick with traffic.
Showers and thunderstorms likely before 5 p.m. Tonight, chance of showers and thunderstorms mainly before midnight, low 69. Tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms with a high near 83. Catch high school tournament baseball Thursday, the state semifinals, Baden versus Padua Franciscan. The high school game day installed by AE Door and Window, Thursday at 3:35 on 1450 The Ticket.
Various variations of that. Charles C.W. Cook, senior editor, podcaster at National Review. On the editors in his own podcast, Charles C.W. Cook. Does your wife have a favorite song, Charles?
Yes, but I think it's a country song. It's probably less elegant than your wife's favorite song.
Yeah, well, that's about every woman of our age favorite song right there. Charles, how long have you been an American citizen?
I have been in America for 15 years and a citizen for 8.
All right, so you're still British enough in my book to please explain Henry Nowak to me and if it actually signifies. It's a tragedy and it's terrible and there's a lot of press, but I have difficulty distinguishing big stories in the UK from stories that make, the Daily Mirror. Is it a big story and what's it signify?
I think it's a big story. I think it signifies something. I think it would be a mistake to assume that it is indicative. I think what it signifies is the same thing probably Americans would recognize here and in a lot of Western Europe, which is that there is an oversensitivity to certain claims and certainly to immigrants, and that this can lead to mistakes in the field. I don't think it means that Britain is lost or that the police in Britain are uniformly anti-white or any of that. But I do think that it's the sort of story that ought to make the police recognize that they shouldn't just take claims at face value, and that there are problems that they've imported.
So in the local elections of a couple weeks ago, Labor got hammered. Is that the kind of destructive defeat that cripples them 3 years from now? Can we project out that far?
Oh, I think it is. I mean, I don't think it's because of this structurally, but I think it is going to foretell a collapse of the British Labour Party for a while. Now, perhaps we're going to enter a new era in Britain in which the Greens and Reform battle it out. Irrespective, Labour is going to be in the wilderness for a while. I may have said this on your show before, but the Labour Party won a very big election victory last time around, but it didn't win much of the vote. Now,
Right.
That's fine. It's not illegitimate. It's how the system works, and I wouldn't change it. But I think the Labour Party won something like 36% of the vote, but they won 400 plus of the 650 seats in Parliament. So they'd started out of sorts. They started with a flattering position in the legislature, and they've just made themselves incredibly unpopular. So, yeah, Labour's going to get absolutely crushed. The big question is what comes in afterwards going to fix what ails Britain?
Well, I mentioned Henry Nowak first because the reaction to that from Kemi Badenoch, who leads the Tories, and from Nigel Farage, who leads Reform, have been competing with each other for the public's attention. Have you followed that?
Mm-hmm. I haven't followed them. I've certainly followed the backlash. I mean, look, this is a story that is going to resonate with people and their politicians. What I would like to see is an actual shift in British attitudes across the board. Again, we've talked about this before. What I worry about a little bit is that the parties are jostling with each other for power, but that the centre of gravity in British politics hasn't moved or won't move, and that the electorate hasn't moved. What you need is a shift in the centre in Britain, and I'm just not sure it's there yet. So I'm glad to see them picking up on stories like this. But you know, Britain needs. What's the best way of putting it? Britain needs a sort of come to Jesus moment on a whole bunch of different issues, on defence, on economics, on entrepreneurialism, on pushing out a lot of what you might call woke or political correctness from its institutions. And it's going to take more than just electing someone who sounds good. The public's going to really need to want it.
And do you, in your bones, feel that that's possible? Or has the sun set on the British Empire?
I feel it's possible, but I certainly don't feel as if it's guaranteed. I mean, Britain's been in bad places before. It's odd to think that when I was a kid, my parents would tell me stories of the 1970s, which was when they met, and how dire everything looked. And they thought at the time maybe Britain was done. And then it was fixed by the Thatcher government, and subsequently it wasn't re-ruined by Tony Blair and others. And now I feel like they've gone back to that. So it's going to take the same sort of effort it took then. It's possible, but at the moment I don't see too many signs of it.
All right, now let me switch over to the United States and Israel in their war with Iran. Over the weekend, I've rehearsed for the audience, Hezbollah struck Israel, Israel struck Beirut, Iran struck Israel, Israel struck Iran. The internet is full of rumors that Bahidi is dead and that we're waiting. What do you understand the situation to be, Charles?
In general, as you may know, I've become a little bit skeptical of this because I feel as if we're in a almost permanent, not stalemate because we have the power, but middle ground where we're not willing to, in part because the American public seems unwilling to push through and complete these missions, whether that's completely taking out the regime or putting troops on the ground or what you will. But on the other hand, we're the United States and they're weak, and their hand really is only being able to close the Strait of Hormuz, which is hurting Trump here. So I think Trump's getting frustrated. I think he's aware of the political position. He seems to be frustrated with Israel. I'm not sure if he actually is or whether that's for show. But I just don't see any movement at the moment on what seems to me like he's stuck in the middle with you kind of war.
All right, we got to come back and play with that. Now let me switch to Graham Plattner for our last 2 minutes. Do you think Graham Plattner will be a United States Senator?
I actually don't, and I'm aware that I'm not always good with predictions, and I'm also usually more pessimistic as a conservative. I don't think he will. I think he probably will win the primary. I don't think that New York Times piece was enough to kick him out. I have a suspicion that Maine, which is a state that has more older voters in it than Florida, is at this point not going to vote for him, and I think there's probably more to come beyond what we know, and I think it may go back, especially with their voting system, to Susan Collins one more time. But it's far too close for comfort, and the fact that this guy is where he is, and the fact that so many people have, having been so mawkish in their condemnations of everyone on the other side, the fact so many people on the left have lined up behind him in the way that they have is depressing.
Well, I drove back from Vermont today. I'm in Mid-Coast, Maine, halfway up the state. I saw Janet Mills signs for the first time. And you're right, Maine is the oldest state demographically. I just don't think that his style plays with anyone over the age of 40. I think you put your finger on it. Last word to you.
$14.50 WMOH News. I'm Steve Vaughn. The investigation continues into the death of a man found on the 400 block of South 12th Street in Hamilton Friday. Police say the victim had traumatic injuries. The man shot to death by police at a Westchester apartment Friday had a long and violent criminal history that included murder. 39-year-old Lorenzo Miller was holding a knife to a woman's neck when he was shot. 4 officers are on paid leave during the investigation. A propane leak forced the evacuation of some homes in the Cedar Grove neighborhood south of 7 Mile. St. Clair Township firefighters quickly capped the leak from a faulty valve on the 3100 block of Fear Not Mills Road. You're paying less at the pump. Gas Buddy says regular unleaded is averaging $3.80 a gallon. In Greater Cincinnati, down 31 cents from last week. A paragliding accident in southeast Indiana last week has turned fatal. The victim, 38-year-old Eric Holm of Norwood, died Friday. I'm Steve Vaughn.
High school tournament baseball, installed by AE Door and Window.
And the Baden Rams are heading back to Canton.
Thursday, Baden plays Padua Franciscan in the Division III state semifinals. Coverage begins Thursday at 3:35 on 1450 The Ticket.
Bienvenidos, amigos. That's how you are welcomed at the area's #1 Latin American foods supermercado y restaurante. And you don't have to speak or understand Spanish to enjoy all that El Gran Valle Verde has to offer. All of your favorite Latin American grocery needs are in stock, and delivery is available too. And if you're not in a cooking mood for groceries, El Gran Valle Verde has a full-service restaurante with all of your favorites. El Gran Valle Verde, nearby in the Hamilton Plaza Shopping Center on Dixie Highway in Hamilton. Nos vemos pronto.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
The Carolina Hurricanes stormed back to tie the Stanley Cup final, 1 game apiece. The Hurricanes won Game 2, 4-3 in overtime. Seth Jarvis scored on a power play in overtime to win it for Carolina. Carolina was facing the possibility of dropping the first 2 games in the Stanley Cup final. Now the series is tied, heading to Las Vegas. Game 3 is tomorrow night. I'm Chris Black.
David is a real Prevagen user, and this is his story.
Nice to meet you. My name is David. I've been a pharmacist for 44 years, and I'm from Flowery Branch, Georgia. When I first started taking Prevagen, I noticed stuff just seemed to come together and fit like a jigsaw puzzle. When I have customers come in, I recommend Prevagen. Number one, because it's safe and effective, does not require a prescription, and I've been taking it quite a while myself, and I know it works. I wouldn't recommend something like Prevagen if I didn't think it was worth it because it works so good for me. And I love it when the customers come back in and tell me, David, that really works so good. Makes my day.
Prevagen, at stores everywhere without a prescription. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Testimonialist was compensated for their time.
In a world parched for excitement, Twisted Tea's your refreshing thrill ride of flavor. The hard iced tea that's smooth, made with real brewed tea and 5% alcohol. Twisted Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
WMOH 1450, The Ticket.
Sponsored by Compassion International. Compassion sponsorship means food, healthcare, education, and most of all, being known, loved, and protected. There are thousands of kids waiting over a year. End their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Text the word radio to 83393.
Miami University football.
Goes long and boom, it is a touchdown. Great throw by Thomas Kotkowski.
The new season begins September 5th as the Redhawks take on Pittsburgh on WMOH 1450 The Ticket.
I'm awfully low. Welcome back, America. It's not June 7th. Fetching Mrs. Hewitt was born on June 7th, June 8th. I will feel. But when her birthday comes around, I always play her favorite song for every break, including this one. I want to take my relief factor because what I did for my wife, I'm opening the entire new package for you just to show you how easy this is. What I did for my wife was really, I think, fabulous. I'm going to give myself a pat on the back if I can open up the package, because that's how easy it is to open. Took her to Vermont, one of the 5 states she hasn't been to. She's now down, 6 states. She is now down to South Dakota, North Dakota, Nebraska, Iowa, and Oklahoma. Now, I've been to Iowa and Oklahoma. I'm down to 3 states. Vermont was on my list, too. We hadn't been to Vermont. So I've got my relief factor here, and I need it, because what do you do when you go to Vermont and it's not winter? You go up and down hills. That's all that you do in Vermont. And you eat maple syrup stuff. Eat well. A lot of good restaurants in Vermont. But you go up and down hills. The trails were all up and down. So there's my carrying curcumin resveratrol omega. Down the hatch I go. And I take it because while I'm not sore, I am aware of the fact that climbing hills is not the same as trundling. And whenever you do something that's new, you're going to activate new muscles, and they're going to remind you that they haven't been used in a while. And that's when Relief Factor comes in handy. Big deal about Relief Factor. You always know that they have a special rate for first-time buyers, and it's their starter pack, 3-week supply. Their starter pack always has a very good deal on it, $19.95. But they're patriots at Relief Factor. So they're doing a special deal this week and through, I think, July 4th. Instead of $19.95 for the 3-week starter pack, it's $17.76. So look, that's $2.23 you can save. $2.19 that you can save. I didn't take math after high school. Did my analysis and calculus, my algebra 2 and trig, and then I quit math. So when I do subtraction on the fly, it's apt not to turn out well. But $17.76 for your Relief Factor starter pack. If you were ever going to try it now. It's cheaper than ever. 3-week supply, $17.76, a special patriotic price. Just call 1-800, the number 4, and the word relief, 1-800-4-RELIEF, or go to their website, relieffactor.com. Now, let me go back to President Trump and Kristen Welker. He began the interview not mad. They were talking about Iran, cut number 1.
They've been largely decapitated, and I call it a military exercise because people would rather have it called that. It's not a big war for us. It's not. We have the most powerful military in the world. I built it, frankly. I built it in my first 4 years, and I'm using it a little bit in my second 4 years. Their Navy is gone. Their Air Force is gone. Their anti-aircraft is gone. They might have built it up a little bit over the last 4 weeks during this little ceasefire that we did at the request of some very good people, very, very fine people from, actually from numerous places, as you know. You know, there are a lot of people involved, but from Pakistan in particular, the Field Marshal and the Prime Minister. And we're very close to having a deal, and if we don't have a deal, we'll do it one way or the other. Either way, we win.
Only a couple of points to work out. Cut number 4.
How close are you to making a deal? Are we talking about days, weeks, months, Mr. President?
I think we're very close. We have a couple of points. They don't even seem like big points. They've conceded the fact that they will not have nuclear weapons. We had a clause in there that we will not develop nuclear weapons, and everybody was very happy with it except me. And I said, well, what happens if they not develop, but they go out and purchase, they acquire? I want to put the word, if they buy or purchase or acquire, you know, you've got to have that in there too, because that's not developing. So they don't have the right to develop or purchase, acquire, or buy.
Have they pushed back against that? Is that one of the sticking points?
A little bit, and then they didn't.
Okay, not a bad follow-up. It's okay. It's not going off the rails. Then cut number 10.
You got a strong jobs report today that beat expectations.
Not strong. Really strong.
Beat expectations.
By how much? Triple.
176,000 jobs created.
Okay, it's going okay.
And won America's religious freedom. Today, that constitutional right is being assaulted once more from within.